And we're live. Welcome everyone back to another edition of V Radio with special guest Johnny Walker Dread and none other than Faith Rittenhouse. Welcome everyone. We'll take a few moments, obviously, for people to pile in here. Be aware that there is a dog warning in effect.
A dog warning. Like we have tornado
See?
warnings here in Oklahoma, right?
Right. Yep.
Oh,
So,
that's a cute one.
oh, look at Zapucci. Hello there, Zapucci.
Little pit bull or something, or
We can't hear you, Faith. You got to unmute yourself. So,
Barking at the cat. But yeah, she's a pit.
that's a pit bull. Such a teeny tiny pit bull.
a little
He's
thin. Yeah, you guys been feeding him?
It's an itty
a
bitty pit bull.
lot. She gets into everything. Like the cat food we had to put up. We have to she knows how to jump up on the table, so if we have food and we walk away for a second on the table, she'll jump up and eat it all.
Mm.
She's a little chunker.
Faith, why don't you introduce yourself? And most importantly, how would people know who you are?
I'm the older sister of Kyle Rittenhouse, the little kid. Well, not little kid, but he's little to me. But the kid from Kenosha who shot people in self-defense.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking a lot about that. And you have, tell us about the rest of your family.
So my mom, Wendy Rittenhouse, she's an
Who did not have anything to do with Kyle being at the protest.
She had
Right.
nothing to do. She was at home in bed cuddling the cats.
That's always a good cause.
She now works as an airport agent. So that's good.
That's right. She's going to be joining on, isn't she? But she's a little delayed.
She's a little delayed because the flight got delayed, so it had to be pushed back a little bit. But now she's I think on her way home, but I think she's on her way home.
Okay. So we'll bring her in when she does make it in.
You'll guys see her walk when she comes in, and then I will mute myself when dogs bark, but when they start barking, she's home.
Oh, okay. Good deal. Yeah, they can't wait for you to be home, can they?
They're so excited. They're like, ah!
All right. Neil, how about you? Why don't you go ahead and, I'm acting like this is on my channel, but this is on Neil.
That's okay. It gave me a moment to kind of do some housekeeping anyway, so that's fine. But basically, hi, I'm Neil from V Radio. Many of you guys may remember me for making one of the documentaries that helped exonerate Mr. Rittenhouse. I've done a lot of investigative work on that, and you guys can see all that stuff on my channel. I've kind of taken a break from it for a little while. Actually, I took a break from everything for a little while because it was a little blackpilling. I actually just did a video recently calling out Gage Grosskreuz's lies that he's telling on college campuses. We can probably watch that at some point during the course of this stream. But the main focus of today is, if you guys go to the description, you will see a GoFundMe for the Rittenhouse family. I donated $50. So if you guys can give anything, please try to, because they're in some trouble that obviously I'll allow Faith to explain whenever she's ready. Are you ready, Faith?
Yeah, sure. I'm ready. So
okay. No pressure or anything. We're just all waiting on you. That's fine. Go ahead.
Talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But so I made the GoFundMe because the month of April, the start of April, I fell into some medical problems where I got diagnosed with appendicitis, and it's nothing big. Appendicitis is not.
If it bursts, it is.
Oh no, it was perforated. It was perforated. So I stayed in the hospital for 4 days. I think it was 4 days. I was in the hospital because they couldn't operate because everything around it was inflamed. So it was too risky to go in. So they gave me medication, and then they were like, we might not need to take it out. The medication may help the appendix rupture or whatever. I'm not a doctor. But so they gave me medication, sent me home. And then a few days later, I was throwing up. And I'm like, oh no, I'm dying. So I go back, and they're like, "Oh, it's a side effect from the medicine. You'll be fine." And then my stomach starts to like hurt, like I think a week and a half later, where like my stomach continuously hurts, and like I won't get too TMI in it, but my stomach continues to hurt, and then I go back to the hospital where they're like, "We don't know what it is, but your appendix is still burst, but your right side of your colon is inflamed. So we're going to give you more medicine and send you home." And then I think like 2 or 3 days later, I was still in like agonizing pain. And so I go to a different hospital where my white blood cell count was over, I think, 20,000. It was like over 20,000, which like normally the range should be 4,000 to, I think, 10,000, 4,000 to 10, or 4,000 to 8. I'm not a doctor again, but it was really high. So they had to keep me, and then they did another CT scan where I still had appendicitis, but then I had pain colitis, so they couldn't operate on my appendix again, and everything around me was inflamed, and I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything, so I was admitted there for 2 days.
Somebody in the chat is asking if you got peritonitis.
I do not know what that is. I had pain colitis.
I guess not.
No.
I think she would probably know what that is if she got it. So, I mean, overall, over the last 6 months, how many days have you been in the hospital?
So over the 6 months I have been in the hospital, I would like to say, like, do you want to count like the sleep-in visits?
Yeah.
Okay, so April 2nd, April 4th, so that's like 1, 2, 3. No, wait. I'm trying to think. I've been over maybe 6 times. 6 and 6.
Man, you've just had a run of bad luck.
A lot of itises. Like you seem to
Yeah, a lot of itises.
Let's collect the itises. Lots of itises. More itises.
But when I was in the hospital, we try to like talk to my brother. Like, we try to like tell his lawyer to tell like my brother that I was like maybe needing surgery, or like I was in the hospital. I never heard from him.
Wait, I mean, Kyle never stepped in and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this." No.
I haven't talked to him in a year officially, like in May. So last May was the last time I talked to him.
Okay, wait. So it's been a year?
Yeah.
A year. I mean, that's the last time you saw him, like, in person.
No, the last time I saw him in person was in 2022, the end of 2022, when he was picking up something from our house. It was like right before Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's, I mean, I'm on my wife's side, there's a kind of a breakup of the family, and it's terrible when these things happen,
Yeah,
I hate it.
Expect him to like take care of me, but like I would expect him to care about what's going on.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit there. Could you try that again?
Oh, sorry. So I saw a comment saying, "Why take care of it? Is she not a grown woman?" I wouldn't expect him to take care of it. I would just expect him to care.
I mean, it's really simple to say, but you know what? We are not all, let's say, in the same position. I watch these shows. For example, there's this one series on YouTube. It's called Dangerous Roads, and you see these people like pulling sulfur out of a volcano, and you think, look, I mean, this could have been me under certain circumstances. We have to be we have to think that we're very lucky in our own situations. And for people to come in and just say, well, you could have just done this or that, but everybody's situation is different.
It's very
And
different.
yeah, I can't pretend to like understand how somebody else's troubles are like mine. I actually have it very good, but I've been very lucky. Not everybody is that lucky.
I concur. I think that a lot of people basically just don't understand the person who was saying all of that stuff. Like, in fact, I actually just banned them from the channel because they were clearly just here to troll. I don't think they were being genuine or in good faith about that argument, and no pun intended, faith. But
Not to be mean, but it was kind of rude.
yeah, no, well, they don't understand your situation. So like, yeah, you're a grown adult. Like, well, how old are you?
23.
23, and you guys still endured all of this craziness, like where your lives got incredibly complicated because of one night in Kenosha.
One night, literally uprooted my whole family to where we moved to a different state.
Right. Yep. All of that stuff, in addition to the fact that he isn't helping you guys. So especially if you haven't even heard from him in a year. So like, go ahead and explain a little further then what it is specifically that was like I mean, we talked about you being in the hospital, but like the chain reaction of things that led to you guys being in financial trouble.
So like the chain reaction was because I couldn't work. We weren't making enough income to support rent. And so we physically couldn't pay it. But then also we also were struggling with getting a car. I don't know if you guys remember like my sister's tweets about like how we needed a car.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it was either the choice of like either getting a car or paying rent at the same time as I'm in the hospital. And we had so much problems with getting a car. So it was
Did you get one?
Yeah, we eventually got one. My sister did. So pretty much the first car we got, they ended up like almost a month later, they ended up texting Mackenzie and saying like, hey, like you need to like take the car back. The bank didn't approve. So we're like, what the heck? Like, what are we supposed to do? So we
How
had to
did they
get
let you leave with the car that the what? Okay, that's not important. Continue.
they yo-yo sailed it. But so we had to give the car away, and then I think we were carless again for another week where we went to a different car dealership where one of my sister's friends used to work at, and then they helped us get another car. And that car, like we were approved on, and then a month later we got a call saying the bank disapproved of it, like you failed your bank call. So we found another bank, but you have to put this much down now. So we had to put more money down on the car that we had already put we put $2,600 down on a car. So we like put everything in and then plus another $1,600 on the car. And that's all rent, and I'm not working because I was in hospital, wasn't feeling good. Literally, when I wasn't in the hospital, I was at home with either a heating pad in the bathroom trying not to throw up. Wasn't able to eat. I wasn't able to move. It literally felt that I was gonna die. Like one night, like I thought that like I was gonna die. I was like, I feel like I'm about to die.
So this led to you losing your job, right?
Yes. So I couldn't work. But then, like, thankfully, I just started a job. I work at a daycare. Sorry, there's a cat.
Hey, we got another guest has joined the stream. And we're getting a good view of him too.
But so I just got another job. And
He's a strange looking cat. Oh, okay, yeah. That's one of those 666 cats. I don't know if I'd go around those things.
We got her outside. But I just started a new job, and hopefully, like, I'll get paid soon, where I'll be able to, like, use the money that people have donated, and then my check, and then my mom's checks, which my mom does not make a lot. Has an airport agent. She gets like 25 hours because they're cutting
Oh,
hours.
wait a minute. She gets $25 per
25
hour.
hours, I think she said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She gets like 15 an hour, but they cut her hours, so right now it's just like a weird spot where we're facing eviction, so she can't get a job.
Wow.
Because like we want to prove that like there's a steady income. So it's very hard.
So I have somebody asking me a question here. If you want the answers to that, you can go look at the streams where I talked to Kyle's mother and his other sister, and the other stream where we talked to Faith again. I don't really get it, guys. Like, if you're going to deify the kid because he defended himself at a riot, that doesn't mean that he's infallible in absolutely all of his other interactions. And being a young kid who's getting exposed to suddenly having a bunch of money and suddenly a bunch of fame, and without really good mentors in the situation to keep him from going off the rails, he did things like write a book that has a lot of private information about his family that was completely unnecessary to be shared with the public. That's just one of many other things. So I guess you can take whatever you want with out of that. But if you're asking if I'm ever going to address it, I don't know how long you've been on my channel, but like, we've interviewed this family 3 times. Kyle's welcome to come here anytime he wants and do that.
Absolutely.
And he of course never does that. He goes on the channels of people like Nick Rekieta, and he doesn't have time for people who actually did the work to put the videos together to get him out of jail. So, but anyway.
And Neil, I think that together, me and you, we're not into the Kyle idolatry. We
Right.
both understand that he was innocent. We both defend him vigorously against those who claim that he's guilty. At the same time, I'm not going to sit there and go, "Oh, Kyle, you're such a great person. You're a hero." No, neither one of us are doing that.
No.
Because we both understand that he was a 17-year-old kid who went there with the best of intentions, got himself into some trouble, thankfully was able to shoot his way out, right?
Right.
He's innocent, but at the same time, he has some character flaws. And I'm not going to defend him when it comes to that book. Just for your viewers, Kyle DM'd me and said, "Hey, I'm catching a lot of flack from my family. I want to send you the book, and I want you to read it and tell me what you think." So he sent me a copy of his book, and I sent him a DM back saying, "Are you insane? This is terrible. You are making a lot of accusations here about your family. It's going to come back to haunt you." I At the time, I thought that they hadn't gone through final proofing yet, and I said, "Hey, Kyle, man, you have a lot of problems with this book, not only in attacking your family, but it's written like shit. All right. I'm a professional technical writer. I know how to write. I know where the problems are." I said, "Talk to me. Let's get together." And he just completely ignored me, blew me off, went ahead, published the book. And you know what? I am not going to defend that book. And you know what? And the worst thing about it was, Neil, he didn't make a dime off that hardly.
Yeah.
You
That
know what I mean?
doesn't surprise me, honestly, and honestly, that's probably better. But regardless, so obviously, my position is has always been is that the kid went to a riot. I don't think that's advisable, but everybody, like, there was nobody defending the property in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Oh,
I've
I'm
been
going to
on,
interrupt you for that for a moment there, Neil,
yeah.
because a lot of people are saying like, "Well, he shouldn't have been there. What he did was dumb." I'm actually one of the few that says I have no problems with it. So I'm actually defending Kyle more than most of his supporters. At the same time, I'm not going to defend his actions after the trial and the way he treated his family. I'm
Well,
just
right,
not going
yeah,
to do it.
and that's kind of the way it is with me too. It's just that being in a situation like that at the right place at the right time or whatever didn't just suddenly make him a superhero. That would, and I think that that's part of the problem. For me, I was given him the benefit of the doubt through the whole thing. The book thing was kind of the end of it for me. I still spend a lot of time on Twitter and make other content. Like I just said, I just made a video about Gage Grosskreutz going to college campuses to lie about what happened in Kenosha. But as far as his treatment of his family, I'm not on board. But anyway, so
Sorry,
Faith.
So my phone literally, I'm using my phone. Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh, there we
From
go.
the dog morning we
There's
talked about
Wendy.
earlier.
Okay, I think Wendy's home. Yeah, but I mean, I think you and I have the same kind of take on this. Like, we recognize Kyle's character flaws. I mean, we understand also that he's a young kid. I think when he turns 26, he'll look back on this and think, okay, yeah, I wasn't being a particularly nice person back then. I do hold out hope that he's going to come around that way.
Well, I mean, it comes back to stuff that I talk about on my channel all the time. The part of your brain that even understands long-term consequences isn't even working in most people until they're in their mid-20s. So he's not going to fully get it until much later. I just hope that he
26.
does come around. So
26, I'm predicting it. At 26, he'll look back and think, okay, yeah, it wasn't.
maybe I shouldn't have done that.
We have
Yeah.
Wendy.
Now, who do we have coming in?
She is in her work clothes, but she could say hello until she changes into something more.
Oh, okay, good deal.
To take a walk around the Rittenhouse house.
All right, there she is.
Hey, Wendy.
Wendy. How you doing?
I'm good. Just got off of work. It was a long day, kind of,
All right. Well, I tell you what, you want to change and then come in and talk to us a little bit more formally. Is that right?
Yeah, I want to eat something first because I
made
That's fine. We're good.
Okay.
Take your time.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Mandy,
So everybody out there, Wendy will join us shortly after she gets done eating, and we'll talk about a lot about what's happened after the whole trial thing.
The whole trial was fun. Let's just talk about that.
Fun? You thought that the trial was fun?
Not really. That's me being.
Yeah, Faith was like, "Oh man, this is so fun watching Kyle." Yeah, looking back on it, I'm sure that you have a much different. But at the time, I bet you were just on pins and needles.
I was okay. So, honestly, my whole thought process during that trial was could this trial end? I am way too stressed. To be fair, right now I'm more stressed than ever. The stress that I've been under right now is more stressful than a trial. I feel bad, but it feels more stressful because I don't know where me and my mom have nowhere to go in a week. And so I'm like, where the heck are we gonna go? We have 2 dogs that I do not want to get rid of. They're my whole world. I don't want to get rid of my belongings. So I'm just like,
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you, Fred.
Sorry. Continue what you were doing. There you go.
But
hey, we can appreciate anything that you guys can donate.
Honestly, anything, even sharing the GoFundMe means the world to me. I've seen all the donations and I am so grateful. I have no words for the people that have donated and the people that have shared it and retweeted it. I share it on my Twitter and I feel bad that I share it every day, but I'm trying to help my mom out in the best way possible. The only
Absolutely.
of right now because I don't know how I'm gonna get money.
Absolutely. I totally get it. I mean, I've never been in your situation, but I can imagine what it must be like.
And I have a lot of trauma towards this because being a kid, I was evicted all the time. So now being an adult, I'm this is happening again. When is it gonna end?
Hey, Neil, do you have a
Yes.
lot? You have a lot of people there asking questions in the chat. Do you want to take a minute and kind of go through and
Let
answer the
me
questions?
have a
Because
look at them. I don't really see a lot of new questions unless there's one like
oh, okay,
somebody
I'm
asking
sorry.
about rental assistance. Rental
So
assistance is a lot harder to get into than you think, John.
it
I
is
mean, I don't know what it's
very.
like where you're at.
So I grew up where my mom got public housing when I was 6 or 7, and we had that until I was about 16 years old. Where, fun fact, my brother and sister had actually been the ones that like to ruin that, because my little sister was a little like, I don't want to say it, but she was a little hood rat and wanted to get into fights with people and argue with people at our apartment complex that accepted Section 8. And so the apartment manager was kind of biased towards our family and was like, you guys have to get out. So we
Wait,
lost.
they're biased towards your family?
They were biased towards our family because, like, I don't want to, like, I don't mean it. Like, I don't know how to not sound racist, but we were the family there.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Although it sounds like they're biased against your family,
Oh,
or do I have it right?
they were biased towards us. I don't know.
Okay.
As in, they liked you or they didn't like you?
They didn't like us.
That's yeah.
They're
That
biased
answers the
against.
question.
Okay.
Right. Well, yeah. It's just, especially in our current climate, you know, people of color are basically being told to resent people who are white as much as possible. I mean, that's just the truth. So it doesn't infect all of them, thankfully, but that is a real thing. So I encountered it quite a bit. Growing up as like white trash in the ghettos, there were a lot of kids there that just attacked white kids for being white. You're still connected. You're just
I
pixelated.
lost connection, Mom.
She doesn't hear us.
I lost.
That's okay.
So right now,
Well, we actually could see and hear you the whole time.
Hey, Neil, do you think it'd be better if she logs out and logs back in?
You could try that, Faith. Log out and log back in.
Yeah, we'll
Perfect.
keep it going here in the meantime.
Right now, it's fine now again. Like, if, like, refresh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So there are two things that are working against me here. I've been trying to raise money for the last week or so for you, and actually we've done okay. I think we've raised about close to $800 in the last few days.
So,
But there are two things that I think that we need to clear up, and this has been an issue. Besides
One
the
of the
dog.
dogs is definitely jealous. Yep. That's, hey, you're lifting him up and you're not lifting me up.
Number one,
Jealous.
everybody thinks that Wendy drove old Kyle to the protest. Like, Kyle gets in the car with her, and Wendy's driving along, and Kyle's got his AR-15. Right, they're driving to Wisconsin, and Wendy says, "Oh, now you go in there and shoot some BLM protesters for me, boy." And Kyle goes, "Oh yeah, Mom, I'll do that." Right? Did that happen, Wendy?
No, it didn't. Over and over again. I drove him. I bought the gun. You know, it's even Binger said that I didn't drive him, and it's still in Twitter, Facebook.
hey, we have another person.
Hey, what's up?
Who's there?
We have all of the Rittenhouse.
Oh, the Rittenhouses are here. That's great.
Lady.
Mackenzie, come forward. Introduce yourself.
Streaming at us live from the Rittenhouse.
Knows who I am. Everybody. Okay.
Do I have a
I got off work. I look rough. My hair looks like Hagrid. So it's
That's quite all right.
We'll
You
survive.
look great.
No, I had to deal with passengers today.
But you know what, Faith? I think you need to log out and log back in. You're kind of breaking up a bit on us.
Okay.
And Neil and I will take care of things in the meantime. So take your time, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, they're breaking up a little bit too much. I thought that maybe it might be better if they come back in.
Yeah, it's fine. It's always generally better to use a computer with a cable internet if you can, but if not,
Yeah.
then they're on their phone. So
But it's great to have all three.
yeah, no, it's great. We've never had all of them at one time. We
Mhm.
we had Mackenzie and Wendy, and then we had Faith by herself talking about the book. So
Right, right, right. Hey, this is a good time to promote their, fundraiser.
yep. So if you guys go to the description of the video, you will see the link to it. I also put it in my chat. So, and I think I pinned it. We'll see if we didn't. If not, Johnny, you should also go to your chat and throw it in there. Um,
Yeah,
but anyway, so, but
idea.
if you guys can give anything, please do. Help these people out. There we go. Now it's pinned. And help them out in their time of need. They're a good family. Just basically got caught in extraordinary circumstances.
Hmm. And keep in mind, they didn't shoot anybody, right? I mean, it's like
Right.
Kyle. I mean, you could at least understand people's, their reluctance because he actually pulled the trigger, but they didn't have anything to do with any of that, and they're the ones that are catching the hell for it.
Right. I wanted to
And
highlight this. Go ahead and finish.
well, one of the things that that Faith said was that the idea that the mother drove Kyle to the protest, which is a pure myth, and had something to do with him having a rifle, which is another pure myth, is hurting their chances of getting employment. And I've been telling people, quit this crap. 3 years later, and they're still propagating this myth. And this is one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of faith in the left, because this whole, they anoint themselves as the like, um, let's say the educated ones, the Illuminati, and 3 years later they still can't get the basic facts right. So I'm going to lay it out. Wendy Rittenhouse had nothing to do with Kyle being at the protest. Wendy Rittenhouse had nothing to do with Kyle having a gun.
He was
Pure
also
myth.
he was also already in Kenosha. Nobody drove him there, like at least not specifically to engage in the riot.
And how far did he have to go to the protest? About 2 miles.
Right, exactly.
So one of the problems that people have here is that they think Kyle Rittenhouse, he's from Illinois, he showed up in Wisconsin. Therefore, he must have driven across the state lines with the rifle. Didn't happen. And people never understood that there might be another explanation. And the other explanation was that the gun may have already been in Wisconsin, and he may have already been in Wisconsin. They didn't even think that was a possibility.
We'll never mention the obsession about crossing state lines, which I did a video about this topic, was that there was literally over 100 people arrested who were rioting in Kenosha who had crossed state lines, some from as far away as Oregon. Apparently, it's okay to cross state lines to burn a city down. It's not okay to cross state lines to defend a city. But anyway, with that said, hello
All
there.
right,
We
we're
get to
back.
see your cat again. Your
We got a
cat
big
wants to
close
be
up of
on
the
the show. So if you
cat.
ever wanted to know what the Rittenhouse family cat looked like, you now have a really good idea
Yeah,
about
close up.
Wendy.
All right, there's Wendy. Is Mackenzie still around?
No, she's kind of crabby right now.
That's okay.
Well, she just
Hey,
got off work. That would suck.
I get it. I mean, before the show's over, it'd be great if she could come back in and say hi.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
For anybody who wants to hear like from her side of the story, we did a great interview with her and her mother some time ago. I'm sure you can find them on both mine and Johnny's channels. So
Okay, so can you guys fill us in on what it's been like for the last couple of months? Because we haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah.
and can your cat fill us in on the state of
Yeah,
litter box for the last couple of months, or hers? Yeah.
The last couple months, honestly, have been extremely stressful. Mom, put the cat away.
Jeez,
give it
Mom,
to
put your cat
Mackenzie.
away.
Let
Yeah.
Mackenzie deal with it.
Jealous. You want your nails cut?
Okay, Mom, continue. They asked how the last couple months have been.
It's been stressful. I mean, with Faith getting sick and wanting to be in the hospital practically the whole month, and her losing her job, it put more strain on Kenzie and I. working more. My hours, they don't like to pay more than 40 hours. They want you to be
They like
30,
giving you like
32,
25 to 32 hours.
like 32 hours or 26 hours because they don't want to pay overtime. 40 hours because they stated like, oh, if you work more than 40 hours in X amount of months, you're going to ask for benefits. I'm like, I really don't care. I just want 40 hours when okay, it's just basically you're gonna work these and stuff like that when people call off, they want you to work like always, or they'll just work short staff. And when they get new people, it's like they don't care about the old people.
Right.
And the thing is, my supervisor, um, he Googled my name, found out who my son, who Kyle is. He showed my coworkers the incident that night, pictures of Kyle, pictures of me. That one with that lady wearing the camo, saying it was me. That Yep.
You gotta
I
be.
remember that.
And the girls didn't care or anything. And these were my coworkers that are African American because my supervisor had it out for me. I didn't do nothing to him or anything. I just show up, do my job, and do the best as I can, and I go home. And he always says, "We have to get rid of her. We have to get rid of her." I didn't do anything wrong with him, and he's showing one of my coworkers a couple weeks ago told me, it's like, yeah, I didn't. She goes, I totally forgot about this, and she goes like this. He showed when we were in the office. It was me, the other two coworkers I had showed. He showed the incident of that night. What happened to your son? I looked at her. I said, I'm like, what the? In
What the heck?
Yeah,
Yeah, what the heck is what you said, right?
yeah. But everybody knows me. He goes like this, and he's saying that was racist, that I was in the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say anything to him. I wrote a letter to the HR about it. I want to HR talk to her because with the line of work I do, I'm not saying what I do. I have to
I
have
said an airport agent.
no. I have to be cleared because I cleared for this job. And when I started, I told the lady who was doing the paperwork about who I was, and she went to HR. She stated that with confidentiality and safety, you'll be okay. A couple months later, this guy comes. I started before him. I had more seniority, but he's a supervisor. He whatever. And I went to her a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to her about it, and now I have to, corporate's involved, and I have to talk to corporate this week about what he's been saying about me and my family. Then 2 weeks ago, they tried to send me home early, and I was drunk, literally trying to send me home because he was stating I was drunk. That he got a phone call from another person. I was by my one coworker. She goes like, "If you weren't even drunk, I would have smelled it on you." I I was pissed. I wrote an email to my HR about it, and she's taking this very seriously and everything. I talked to my lawyer because you have to write notes on that, and my lawyer didn't contact me back and stuff like that because this week, I have a meeting with HR. With corporate about him, and he's been like saying, "Oh, Wendy doesn't want to take pictures with us. Wendy doesn't want to do that. She's racist." He tells me, "You're racist." I said, "No, I just hate people like you." And it was distress on that with my anxiety and with everything going on with Faith with her health. It's like It's another thing. I shouldn't be going to work worrying about I have to watch my back, or he's going to have one of his friends follow me home, and because this guy's a nutcase,
Well,
and it's
if you ever need a letter like of support, let me know.
Mhm. Well, I told the management. I straight up told them I'm not going home. I said call. I said I'll do a drug test. I'll go get a cop. I'll be doing a breathalyzer. I wouldn't. I'm not leaving. I told her exactly like that, and I shouldn't be dealing with that shit at work because of him. Because I don't say, hey, Kyle Rittenhouse's mom or anything. Everybody knows me as Wendy, and I have 3 kids, and that's we work more. I mean, we spend more time with our coworkers than our family.
I literally started the job and now I'm working from like I leave work at 6:50. I work 8 to 6. I work 8 to 6 every day now. Just so then I can make money, so then we can move into like a place and like finally get food. We can finally pay everything that we need to pay because we're still behind.
Faith, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do? I mean, without giving away too much. I mean, can you give us an idea about kind of what you kind of work you do?
I do childcare. I'm a childcare.
And that's something you did, Wendy, didn't you?
No, I took care of
She
people,
worked. She
Oh,
worked
you took care of adults.
adults with Alzheimer's and dementia for
Well, once
many.
adults get old enough, it's basically the same job, right?
I love that because I mean, some of them are with it. They still have their mind,
I know all those
and
children's songs.
and them telling how they grew up and stuff, and the depressions, and there was some funny residents. I mean, they passed on. I still have memories of them. I have like little angels that family members gave me,
It's cute.
and I have pictures of me and my favorite resident still. I miss him terrible. My little Leroy, I loved him and stuff like that. And it's like I try to move on. So 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 I can put everything that happened to my family behind me and just work for the future. And it's like big roadblocks and people like that at my work is putting my safety in danger at work. And with Faith having her illness and stuff like that, it took a big strain on of us and stuff.
The appendicitis and the pancolitis.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, you got death threats and things like that, and you kind of alluded to certain problems recently. Do you still feel like you're insecure? Like, do you worry about people finding out who you are and coming after you?
Yeah. With 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 my supervisor, I mean, I get anxiety when I go to work. Hopefully, I mean, thinking that he's there, and when he's not there, I mean, it's a lot better and a lot better because who else is he telling at the place of our employment about who I am? With the new people, with the 2 people that new people, I'm sorry, did he say who I am to them? Oh, hi, princess.
We're getting a close up of the cat.
Princess wants us to know that she also has anxiety as a cat, that somebody might discover that she could be Kyle Rittenhouse's cat, and
Yeah.
concerned about cat lash.
Yeah.
Have you thought about changing your name? Has that come up?
Yes.
Yeah,
Faith comes a yes.
you know what? I, yeah, because I did think about it and everything, but you know what? That's who I am. I'm Wendy Rittenhouse. If I ever get remarried, I'll take on their last name. But as now, I'm Wendy Rittenhouse, and
Okay, we almost got a real spot there. But Wendy, but people also you used to go by Wendy Lewis. Is that your maiden name?
Yes, it is.
Have you thought about just using that?
Guys, we got a live stream of my glasses breaking.
Oh no, another
right.
expense.
I
We're gonna
thought
have to start another GoFundMe just for her glasses.
Hey, are those prescriptions?
Yes.
Oh no.
But-
Now, hey, you can't blame that on me and Neil. No. We're
No,
not
this
taking.
one isn't our
We're not
fault.
taking the blame for that one.
Do we have super glue? I'll just super glue them for time being.
That's what you do.
just
You're
one.
supposed to put little white tape on it and then put it on. That's really cool. The cool kids do that.
Let's just put some tape around it and call it a day.
So my work finally offers benefits where I am actually able to get vision insurance. So I will be getting new glasses.
Okay.
No, I thought about changing my name back to my maiden name when I got divorced. And
They did survive, Julia.
It's like, yeah,
I need to go fix this.
there's, a lot of things. Hey, Maggie, what are you doing? Get down. She wants to be honest.
Maggie wants to be a star.
When Maggie found us, we found her in the apartment because around March. No, November. She was only 2 months old, and it was like 4:00 in the morning. It was for Florida. It was kind of cold and raining, and I looked over and I'm like, Mackenzie, there's a dog. There's a puppy. She's like, no, and she comes up off the table, and I'm like, oh my god, we can't leave her because, oh my god, and she thinks she's a cat too, and I'm like, no, we'll just take her. We'll just take her home. We'll just take her back home and everything. I'll give her a bath and I'll feed her, and we put her in the crate. As in the morning, we'll find the owner. We found the owner, and he's like, oh, can you watch her for a month? I'm like, no. Oh, what about? Come on, Maggie. What about a day? A day turned in the month, and I'm like, no, he's not getting her back. And I told Mackenzie, you text them that we want to keep her, and
no, she's for my daughter.
he said no, it's for my daughter. Next day, he's like, oh, you can keep her because your mom got attached, and there's another dog.
Said you guys got attached, and that there's another dog, so she won't be alone.
Yeah, they trust me.
But now they be cuddling.
But her name was Star when we found her, but I named her Maggie Marie.
I got super glue all over me.
She's Maggie Marie.
Well, that's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh my God.
I got to tell you my pit bull story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my family's raised a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
One night I drove home and there's a black pit bull in our yard. And I'm thinking, oh, shoot, we have another pit bull. They're going to get in a fight, right? So I took a 2x4 and basically kind of poked at it like, get out of here. And the dog wouldn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finally started basically beating the crap out of this pit bull with this 2x4, trying to get it to leave. And then I realized, wait, this dog's chained up. My dad had brought it home because he was a Section 8 housing renter, and people had basically left the dog behind. And to this day, that dog never had any use for me.
When neither you were in them with the get off the table. No. She's a cat. She's a good.
We did confirm that it is in fact a cat, right?
Well, she's a little scary cat. Every time I take her outside, she wants to go in the house right away because she hates noises, and she gets so scared. I'm like looking at her. I said, "You're supposed to be a little pit bull, and you're supposed to be this mastiff guard dog, but she only barks at when she hears something." And it's like when she sees it, her tail's in between her legs. She's like trying to hide behind me. He's like, "Oh, please protect me." I'm like, it's the other way around. You need to protect me, baby.
I really don't know.
A lot of pit bulls can't bark. Ours couldn't.
Oh, ours does.
And that makes them very bad guard dogs.
Oh, this one.
But yet they're banned at every freaking
complex. Every complex or every home that we looked at, I've been looking for all breeds and stuff like that. They say, oh, pit bulls, German Shepherd, certain Huskies, Melbo.
Certain huskies aren't allowed.
Yeah, because one of them said Huskies on it.
They're,
And
they're actually quite violent sometimes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
where's the Chihuahua at? A Chihuahua will just nip at your leg. I mean, those are vicious little things. I mean, no offense for the people who love Chihuahuas, but I'd rather have like 10 pit bulls than a Chihuahua.
They're
We'll find.
really actually broken.
We'll get a new phone.
A Chihuahua?
No, a Chihuahua. Those
Oh,
little,
Chihuahua.
those things are mean.
those
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty vicious.
they're mean little things, you know.
little rats.
So getting back to more like pertinent things here. When you walk around, do people recognize you as Wendy?
No, they just when I'm at work, it's just I have my badge turned the other way so people don't know my name. They'll say,
So, yeah, but like what, upside down or something? What?
literally the back of, you see the back. You don't see my face with my name or my last name. I turn it around on the back of me, and I tuck it in my shirt because I'm like, I don't want you knowing who I am. But
Okay.
the people, it's just like they come in, they come out. You know?
Did she really just jump up here?
Yeah, she's a cat.
Mm. Now, Faith, you started work how long ago?
Like 20 days ago.
Okay. Are you getting full-time work?
Full time, yeah. But right now,
Okay.
check hasn't came through yet.
So you have this eviction thing that's kind of looming over you right now, but you have like a light at the end of the tunnel because you managed to find a job.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. But obviously the eviction thing is looming right now. How many more days do you have to come up with this money?
Friday.
Friday. Okay. So we need to kind of step up the, um, intensity
donating.
here. Yeah, because Friday is the deadline and they need some help. And I have donated. And if we can get people donating some more, I'll donate a little bit more tonight. We need to kind of help them out. Neil, why don't you go ahead and kind of get out the word a little bit more here?
Yeah, basically, guys, if you want to donate, it's in the description in my video. It's also pinned to the top in my chat if you want to go to it on YouTube. We actually have kind of a weird thing going on today. I've never had this happen before. We actually have more viewers on Twitter today /X than I have on YouTube. That's never happened before.
If you go on Twitter, it's on my Twitter.
Yep, so that helps. But like I spread it on Twitter, but like it like literally the stream on Twitter has more viewers, which is interesting. And I've got my standard token single viewer on Twitch. I always get one viewer on Twitch. That's why I always do that. It's usually the same person too. So, hey, welcome from Twitch. But anyway, but you guys can find it there, and I'll drop it here in the chat real quick too. But if you guys can donate, please feel free. Try to give whatever you can. If there's a lot of people listening to it, and they will by the time I'm done with spreading this everywhere else, even a little bit from a lot of different people will still help them. So
I saw someone to answer this question to give better understanding. So it says, how much do they need to stay in their place, the whole 3,000, or will they accept a partial? So pretty much we're getting evicted no matter what, so they won't take anything back, take anything, because our lease is already ending, and so they're you better find a new place.
So you need this money for your next move, right?
Next move and
U-Haul,
moving expenses, such as if we have to get a hotel to stay in
or storage.
And not to mention, most of these places want huge security deposits.
Yeah,
it costed me $3,000 to move into the place I am in now.
I mean, first month, last month, security deposit. I mean, it's ridiculous. They want if say a place is $2,000 because it's a random number. They want the first month's rent is $2,000. They want a deposit $2,000, $4,000 right there. If your credit's bad, an extra $2,000. That's 6,000 dollars just to move into a place, like your first, last, and deposit. And with that, but certain places it depends on where you go. They do like half off the first rent, or they'll have like specials running and stuff like that. And plus, with the pet deposit, it depends on how many pets you have. If you have one pet, it's like 300, 500 for two pets, and your pet your pet rent like $25 a month. I just tell them I just have one. So I'm like, I have one dog. And then later I'll say, oh, I got another dog. Here's an extra $200 for this dog.
So, how much are you paying rent now, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, or how much are you planning? How much do you think you're going to have to pay per month?
Rent's not cheap. I mean,
How
seriously,
much would you think?
probably about 17.
17,000.
Wow, you need to move to Oklahoma.
It's very, if you were in the ghetto, it would be like 1,000 to, downtown Ghettosville and everything like that. The cheapest I saw it was like 1,200 for a two-bedroom. And
Yeah, that
I
it's the
Googled that. And I was like, oh, and think I'm like, nope.
I've been looking into moving as well. This is kind of like a countrywide problem to have this super high rent. Like even renting a mobile home right now, like just renting a trailer from someone is going to cost you like over 1,000 and probably more, like double the rent of where I pay now. So I'm basically stuck where I am because I've been thinking about moving as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's going on everywhere.
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Just stepped on it. No, the price of living is ridiculous. It's like I just saw in San Diego, a cheapest one-bedroom apartment is like 2,000. It depends.
Oh, San Diego, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on where you go. I thought Chicago was bad because where we were living in at the time of the incident, I was paying nine for a two-bedroom, 985 for a two-bedroom. I thought, oh my God, that's expensive. But I was like, this man, I wish I could pay that now because it'd be okay. But I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. But times change and everything because the price of the economy, it literally sucks. It's like the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. And people can't afford rent or afford their car, afford food or health care. And people are like, "Oh, the economy is booming." No, it isn't. It's not booming. It's like
Well,
I
booming
don't
is in like blowing up and then being destroyed.
even
Sorry.
one of my coworkers. She's in the same predicament I am about lose. She lost her place. Um, she had to go to Oklahoma and drop her kids off to her mom and dad's.
Oklahoma? I
Yeah,
thought it was
no,
Mississippi.
I'm sorry, Mississippi.
Oh,
Almost by each other. And she goes, "Yeah, I had to go drop my kids off for the summer to find a place for my kids." She goes, "I don't want them being in a hotel because it was a skaggy an OBT bad hotel, and there was like crack dealers around." And she's like, "No, I can't deal with it." And it's like she took a and week off and stuff like that to take her kids to her mom's, and she came back to work. It's like, yep, my best effort to get my kids back home within this. End of summer, so they can have a house and stuff. But trying to find a house, like you said, because she wants a house, not an apartment. She's looking at a house for like a four-bedroom house. Like depends on what area, but going farther out west, northwest, where it's cheaper at. And she goes, "I don't care because I don't plan on staying
Yeah, the
where
West
we
is
at,
cheaper.
where we're at.
Where we
I'm not,
are.
I'm not going to stay at this place where we work at because I can find another job that way." And it's like, it's ridiculous. She goes, "It's ridiculous. You can't even find anything because they want the first month, like I said, first month and last month. If you found a $2,500 home, you're paying $5,000 just going in there. It's like she goes, yeah, I'm saving the money, but the place, I mean, living at the hotel is eating that her living, I mean, her savings away and stuff like that. She goes, I paid like $500 a week for the hotel, and that's $2,500 a month. And I'm like, I was like, I've been there, done that so many times.
You need to move out to Oklahoma. Things are so much cheaper here. I
You
mean,
tornado,
literally,
you got
like
tornadoes
1,200 a month
first.
has got you a 2 3 bedroom apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm gonna have to make my way down there too. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I just bought a house for my kids,
Hmm.
and it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, about 1,700 square foot on the lake. So I
Mm.
mean, literally, you're on the lake, so you can go out and fish and everything like that. 245.
I don't, you know, because I grew up in northern Michigan, and I always say when I get older, I'm gonna move out of Michigan, and because I hated northern Michigan so much. It's like now I just miss the peace and quiet and seeing the skies with the stars and stuff and the fresh air. You can't even see the stars once in a blue moon. I miss
By
the
the
fresh.
way, John Jackson asks, how much for a 3 bedroom in Oklahoma? You're probably looking at 180,000 for kind of a dumpy place, up to
Mm,
about 270 for very nice.
yeah.
That's what you're kind of looking at. So I hope that answers your questions. But
Mm.
um, yeah, I mean, you it sounds like you're living in kind of an expensive area.
It's always expensive.
Well, why did you move there? I mean, what drew you to that area?
You know, we, I was looking, how we're in Florida, and when me and the girls went on vacation, I'm like, I was picking between Florida or Texas to live in. And we went to Florida, me and the girls, and we found some houses that we like, and we got a house when, when Kyle got half the bond money back, and I mean it's gone. Okay, I mean lawyers took mostly all of it, but it's gone, and we lived off that, and hindsight 2020, if we knew what was in store with us, I would have I would have found a cheaper place, got a job right away, but Kyle just got acquitted like a couple months afterwards, like November. We moved down here in February, not February, April. And if I knew what was in store for us girls, I would have, it would have been a lot different. But hindsight 2020, it's like you can't go in the past and change it. You just have to just move and go on and stuff like that.
Yeah. By
But
the way, if you go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh,
Go ahead.
I mean, exactly. There. I mean, with lawyers and stuff that screwed me. I mean, literally, they stole from me. And you know what lawyers I'm talking about. One goes on trial, I think I read in August, and the other one I don't see no more on Twitter or anything like that. But what comes around goes around.
When's the last time you heard from your son?
Let me see, a year. Let me see, April. I think a year and a half. Uh, last time I heard from him, like through a text, was last year's Mother's Day, saying Happy Mother's Day. That's
I
it.
told him.
That's all he wrote. Happy Mother's Day. Well, at least he did something there, right?
I mean,
Well, to be fair, I told him to wish her happy Mother's Day.
but I do think about Kyle all the time. I do. I mean, I do worry about him, especially with all those speeches. I mean, speeches that he's doing at the colleges and stuff, and the people that's in his orbit. I don't think they're nice people. If they
Yeah,
are
I was going to
God,
ask you about that.
if they're God-bearing people, what they say they are, Kyle would not treat his family like shit. And
Damn, he blocked you. Sorry for the potty mouth.
time you
Well, I don't know if like Johnny minds cussing on his stream. I don't care about it on mine.
I mean
So
No, I
no
don't care.
feel free. So feel free to potty mouth to your heart's content, Faith. You're 23.
Mhm.
Period.
no
Except I have virgin ears, so be careful there.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
no, it's the people that he's with right now. I don't think they're good people. And I had a donor list that I mean a donor list from the Free Kyle USA where I had a donor list and
Changed the email.
they I mean when everything happened and stuff, Kyle, I mean without my permission, closed it down and closed down the email on it, and I can't use that donors list to put put on this thing for for the GoFundMe to get like say hey this is what's going on. These two what do I want to say, pieces of garbage. You know who you are, making money off of Kyle's name. Don't give a shit about his fucking family. All you care is about the mighty buck. And whatever comes around goes around. That's how I think about that. But I can't be hateful and evil about that, because it's about me and the girls, not what Kyle's doing at the moment.
This is the point where when I was a DJ, we would have a little cart, a little 8-track we would put in there that says, some of the content you may have heard on this radio station may offend some listeners. But in
Yeah,
the interest of First Amendment, free speech, whatever.
Well, in mine, in my version of it would say some of the content of this, it may offend some viewers, and I would say, good. You deserve to be offended.
I was, it's about the girls and I and everything like that, and we feel like Kyle threw us in yesterday's garbage. He doesn't call. He doesn't call. He doesn't. He doesn't call. He never asked how Faith was doing when she was in the hospital. He didn't show up to his own grandpa's funeral, and I mean, like I worry about him so much, and I miss him. Because he's my only child, my only son I have. And
you're still Mama Bear.
Yeah, I'm still my
back, Mom.
Aw. And it's like I wish she would say, "Hey, call me up and say, hey, Mom, how are you doing?" It's like if he walked in the door, after not um seeing him for 2 years, and stuff like that. It'll be kind of odd, but still, he's my son.
So John Jackson, for a response, sorry, I'm starting to not feel good, but for a response on how someone could skip a funeral. So I was the one contacting him during my grandfather's funeral, and I called him earlier that day, and he said, "Oh, I have a paid speaking event." So a speaking event was more important to my brother than my own grandfather who died from cancer. Like, it makes me emotional because, like, my grandpa, because my dad wasn't really there, my grandpa was, like, that father figure for him.
I mean, and Kyle mentions in the book something about this. I'm going back to the book. We talked about this before, but Neil's listeners are not necessarily the ones that listened to my show before. But both of you, could you kind of describe your impressions? You don't have to go into details you don't want to, but when that book came out, how did it hit you?
So that book, it literally hit me. Like, he didn't say much about me. He made it seem like I was a high school dropout, but, like...
I think he actually said that, didn't he?
No, he did call me a high school dropout. He tried to how I dropped out of high school, so he thought it was okay that he dropped out when... Like, yeah, I dropped out of high school because I moved high schools 3 times and I went online. That's not dropping out. That's just going online.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My
And
kids are in online right now. It's not out of school.
it's still in school. I managed to get a 3.7 GPA still.
You know, and he's
So, like, him saying that he was following in my footprints, and, like, I mean, I kind of am glad that he said that he wished he listened to me more. Because, like, when my mom wasn't there, I was the one raising him. I was the one doing everything when my mom was at work. Because
yeah,
my dad was a drug addict.
yeah.
My dad was an alcoholic. So,
Now,
Their
wait,
dad,
I mean, just to be clear, you say was. Is he still having issues with it, or is this in the past?
he's been sober for 13 years.
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, I'd say he's gotten over it.
Yeah, and that also puts a different flavor on the book because. Oh, by the way, Wendy, I was often accused of being your husband, so just to let you know, Kyle's father.
Are you
Yeah,
my
it went around for a while. Yeah,
dad?
yeah.
Dad?
Oh,
you put
Faith.
him over glass. You got the garbage.
You came back with the milk?
Yeah, this just goes to show you how the internet goes. But yeah, I was called Dad's father for quite a bit by quite a few of my followers, and like I just said, to hell with you. I don't give a shit what you think. But
But with the book, he had also said some things, like very nasty things about my mom, where, like, he accused her of stealing, which is so false. And, like, the way that my mom was, like, I'm speaking for my mom, she should speak. But the way that I saw my mom, she was, like, in bed crying, not wanting to get up. She was moody because of the book. Like, it, like, totally changed her into a different person, where it, like, was upsetting because the way that Kyle portrayed her was not who she was.
You
She
know,
was this strong lady who went to trial every day with my brother, didn't miss a day, heard people bash him, heard people lie, but yet this dude says, "Oh, my mom wasn't there. Oh, my mom chose to abuse me because she didn't give me clothes that I wanted." Like, boo-hoo.
well, if it makes you feel any better, Wendy and Faith, you don't have to worry about your public persona because nobody bought the book. So, like, right, that was a big old flop, and I predicted it at the time.
Not to
no,
be mean, but that book, the way that it looks in person, it's paper. It's literally a paper book that looks like a fan fiction. I have books. Hold on. This book looks better. This book looks better. It's Game of Thrones, by the way. You
you
guys
know,
want to read it?
Okay,
no.
So let your mom talk. She's tried to speak a couple times.
yeah.
With his book, saying don't.
You need to step in a little bit there, Wendy, just to get you on.
I mean, with his book and stuff like that, I did read it, and like people think I can't read, but I did read it. Uh, him because he was talking about talking about my mom, that he wishes he would have more time with my mom, his grandma. I mean, because me and my mom had a bad relationship. I didn't talk to my mom for like 14 years. It, our my
Ow.
my relationship with my mom is a lot different than Kyle. My mom never tried to get a hold of me or call me, send pictures or anything like that. And he's like, I wish I had more time with my grandma and stuff like that. But he tried to put it out that I was not letting him see his grandma. I told him, I said, if you want to talk to your grandma, you can. Here's the number. But I don't want to talk to my mom because we had some issues that, went on and everything. But I mean, I mean, we talked. I mean, before she died, before the incident, we went up there, okay, because I wanted to see my dad's grave, and I wanted to see some of my sisters and my brothers and my nephews and nieces. I just like swallowed my pride. We went over there so the kids will see their grandma and stuff like that. The night of the incident, people were calling my mom's house, threatening my mom, threatening my sister, which has she has a disability, freaking her out. My nieces had to come over to answer the phone a person called from overseas to threaten my family. And I saw, I was it the time that my mom passed, I made closure. I saw my mom twice before she passed. And the last time I told Kyle, I said, Grandma's not doing good and everything. We need to talk to um, LT, the one who was doing security at the time. He's like, yeah, we'll get you up there so you can see your mom and stuff. And I told LT, the security person, I said, he said, how was it? I said, from December till now, my mom declined, and she's probably going to be gone in the next 6 weeks. I was right. She died on her birthday. Yep, she died on her birthday. And Kyle wishes that on there, but when I, when I tried to explain to him about the situation towards me and my mom, it was like talking to a brick wall. And another part was I was after his checkbook. No, Kyle, I wanted Kyle to be successful. I told him always save your money. You always think about do you really want this? Would you want? Do you really want this? If you think no, you put it back. That's why I always try to tell the kids. You always want to look because I always do that for a pair of shoes or something. I look at, do I really? I need them. And you walk around, it's like no, I could go another week or something. I'll put them back or another year or so. And Kyle always, I always try to think before you buy stuff, because something might come along that you might want that more than the other. I was never after his checkbook. And he talks about how I had boyfriends at the house. There was only one incident, and that was one too many. And after that, I never brought any guys home. And not like his dad had girlfriends and his dad having girlfriends meeting the kids and stuff. I never brought anybody home when the kids were home because I put them before that because when they're little it's like they get confused. It's like, oh, your new boyfriend, whatever. But I never did that. And him talking about how I had all these boyfriends, I didn't, because I always put the kids first. I always put my needs before the kids. I, I'm saying, yeah, sorry, Homer, I'm tired. Uh, no, I always put the kids' needs before mine. And him talking about, oh, he didn't have nice clothes and everything like that. He wanted name brand. Okay, I shopped at anything Target, Walmart, or Goodwill for the kids. He wanted to go out to Nike store get Nike stuff. I'm sorry, I was on a
got all
budget.
my clothes from Goodwill.
We were on a budget, and he didn't like it. I'm like, and he was easy to shop for because he was not like the girls being in the store for 3 hours. We were in and out with him, and with him saying that he had good, had Goodwill close. Did he say not? He forgot to say they had the tag still on them from the store.
That does happen sometimes because in
Yep.
some cases these places get brand new donations, but
That,
regardless,
And also, I kind of grew up in a middle class family, and I wore like that kind of stuff because my dad was an Okie. I mean, you're not going to get name brand stuff. You know
exactly.
what? I mean, so what?
Walmart. Was it Kmart when we were kids? Everybody like, oh my God, it's Kmart. It's not the mall stuff. Oh, whatever.
Mhm.
Whatever. And it's like, it just irritates me. It's like I put him in Boy Scouts. I put him in Boy Scouts. I put him in he wanted to be in Boy Scouts. I put him in Boy Scouts. He wanted to be in track and field. Okay, he went track and field. And Kyle did all these um things that the girls didn't do because he didn't have he there was no man figure in his life, and I wanted him to be around men, decent men, and he talks about how his birthday party was nothing but older people like my friends and stuff. He didn't realize I kept it quiet for so many years that when I went to the school, until he passed out. I mean, I passed out the invitations to the teachers. He didn't get an invitation back. I mean, there was no invitation. No one didn't come to his birthday party. That's why he had my friends at his birthday party, because none of his classmates didn't want to come. Because
I mean, I never had a birthday party when I was a kid.
I
Never.
had
I lived on a ranch. I mean, the kids would have had to come from a long ways. And I will say this, I do not recall ever having a single birthday party growing up. Big deal.
no. He's like talking about he didn't have a birthday party because it was all my. I mean, my friends and stuff like that. My friends love Kyle. My he he would look up to one of my friends. I mean, he my my friend that's a Harley Davidson person. I mean, mechanic looks at. I mean, he has a sweetheart, but you piss him off. There's another person you don't want to piss off. He looked up to him so much, and he was always there for Kyle, and him stating that no, he all these people came to his birthday party. He came to support Kyle and stuff like that, and him saying that, oh, this and that. It's like, really? Even my one friend, um, his dad lives in New Jersey, and he asked me the other day, because he asked me, it's like, did you? I mean, he goes, I read the book, and he goes, that's bullshit what he said about you and stuff like that, and he is like, that's not right. I said, no, I just like, I'm just gonna let it go because that's what a mom does. I'm like, I forgive him for what he wrote about me, and I love him. I wish he would find the right path, not listen to these people that's in his circle. He needs to fire these people and listen to Mark and Natalie. If they say don't go on these things, don't go on it. But and stop posting stupid shit on Twitter and everything.
Look, I've lost faith in Mark.
Mm.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I get why everybody looks upon Mark as like this father figure to him now that will guide him. I've lost faith in him. To me, Mark is a lawyer,
Mhm.
and I blame him. I mean, keep in mind he wrote the foreword for Kyle's book, and
I don't.
Kyle told me that Mark read the book and thought it was great. And I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me.
I thought it was. I thought it was garbage. I
Mhm.
mean, the
Oh,
only
I mean, I have a series of videos on my channel where I go through the book and just blast it. Not necessarily just the content, but the overall writing and the formatting and everything. It really comes off as just a cheap, dime store pamphlet, in my
it,
opinion. But
the person who was supposed to write it with Kyle. He wasn't even like a author or anything like that who writes books. He's like,
offer to write one for him. I'm a professional writer. And I said, hey, Kyle, in the future, if you ever want to have somebody write your autobiography, let me know. And instead, he went with this idiot, Michael Quinn Sullivan, out of Dallas or whatever, who can't write for shit. But
no,
sorry.
it's probably one of his people, the people that's in the circle, that's in his ear, saying shit like, "Oh, he's gonna make you millions." No, you're gonna lose millions. And Kyle just needs to go to school or work. I mean, do a trade, work your ass off, put your head down, don't say shit in the media, or I mean Twitter. Don't go to these fucking college shit, and just worry. I mean, worry about life and do the best you can, and just not say a damn word. Me and the
There was
girls,
one time. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
me and the girls, yeah, we don't. we don't say hey, or like we're Kyle's mom, or hey, we're Kyle's sister. We don't we don't go on social media. We don't make clap like saying, hey, we're Kyle's mom and dad, mom and sister. We don't do this shit. We want a low life, so we can just go on with our lives and stuff like that. I don't mention that Kyle, I mean, like working your thing for I've been there for 6 months. I didn't say anything about who Kyle was until the girls told me. I was like, yeah, he's my son. And they said, you guys been through, I mean, hell and back and everything. And I see people still bashing you. And I'm like, yes, yeah, people think I drove him still.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
know?
Yep,
But yeah,
I deal with stuff on Twitter all the time, just of
Yeah, and
different misconceptions, and the media did a good job of misrepresenting the whole thing.
it's
I
one
need
of
to.
the few
By
things
the
that
way,
I.
guys, real quick, I need to step away for a moment, so I'm going to be
Oh,
AFK,
sure, go
but the
ahead.
stream will
I'll carry the
continue.
weight here.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things that I go onto Twitter and defend. One is Dominic Black's involvement and your involvement. I don't, as far as the other stuff with Kyle, I don't even bother with it. There's just so much noise. But when somebody comes in and says, Wendy, his mother drove him, I will jump in. And there's a number of us that will jump in and say, no, you've got it wrong.
no,
And
one,
it's a tough fight.
look, it's hurt. No, fuck you. Uh, sorry, sorry, but still, it's ridiculous. I'm trying to move on with my life, and the best I can ability provide for the girls and everything like that. Yeah, we hit a big, huge pothole. I mean, a huge pothole. What happened? I mean, what's going on? It's like I think, okay, and I pray and I say, hopefully we get a call saying we get this place. If not, okay, we got to stop back. Okay, we'll keep on looking and everything like that. And to the people that donated to Face GoFundMe, thank you. I mean, this is going to help out with the deposit and moving U-Haul and stuff like that. It'd be me with the dressers on my back that weighs 200 pounds down a flight of stairs. I got this. It's just a bit.
Mhm. And this is a good segue to remind everybody that we're here primarily to help you raise money for
Yeah.
your future expenses because you're being evicted. And so I think Neil has provided in the description the Go Send Me page. Go on in there and donate. I'm going to donate a little bit more here tonight. I've already donated before, but
Thank
if you can spare 20 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever you can spare, go on in there and help them out a little. You know, now keep in mind, I'm not asking you to donate if you can't afford it. I mean,
you.
and I get it. Times are tight. Some of you feel like, hey, man, I mean, I'd love to donate, but man, things are kind of tight. And also, my woman's going to kill me if I do. But don't put yourself in that kind of situation. I mean, but if you can put together 20 bucks or so like that, do it. I mean, it's all for a good cause here. And I know that the Rittenhouses would greatly appreciate it.
It's like Mackenzie, not Mackenzie, wrong kid. See, I, I'll say Mackenzie, Faith, dogs, cats, names to the kids all the time. When I'm yelling, I say the wrong name. But it's like with my old Twitter way back when it was Kyle's mom. I'm like just trying to find. I found it. I'm like open up. I changed everything on it after the trial and stuff because I was Kyle's mom on it. This is Kyle's mom. Was it 0103 something like that? But I changed it and everything. I just like once in a blue moon I'll go on it and Faith goes like, "It's how about people that I mean from the trial that and afterwards that follow and stuff." And I followed Drew Hernandez and everything. I wrote him a message. I hope Drew's listening. Look at your message.
You think he's on?
I don't know. It's it's like
We gotta go to bed soon.
yeah, I
Oh,
know.
we have a couple of questions here. How does GoFundMe work? Can they cash it even if they don't reach the goal? Absolutely. So
Yeah.
any money that you can donate to them, they'll get. I mean,
Mhm.
the goal is just sort of an informal, like, hey, it would be really great if we could reach this amount, right? Am I
Like
kind of
if
get?
like people do goals and stuff like that. Like it can be $1,000 goal. Like if they want, I mean, oh yeah, I want to go on vacation. I can't do that. My goal is 1,000.
Mhm.
It like our 1,000. And some people with when Kyle had his thing, his still, I think he still has it. I'm not for. Oh, his thing, for the civil thing, his goal was at one point was 25. Was it 250,000? Then it bumped up to $500,000. To me, you should just ask for little than a lot, because if you ask for a lot, it's like you look and it's like what the hell.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
it's
and one other. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
go
Are you
ahead.
finished? Okay. One other question was: have you been like putting this out on forums? You know what? I advise all the viewers out there: if you have a forum out there, you have a Twitter account, you have a YouTube account, Facebook or whatever, you can do that. You can go on there and put the link and say, "Hey, I've donated a little bit of money, but we could really use a lot more." Put it out there. I mean, sharing the if you, especially if you can't afford to put any money out, sharing it is often just as good because
You,
you might hit somebody who might say, "Hey, I can donate a couple of $100." You never know.
you know, I don't have Facebook. I seriously don't have Facebook because I think Facebook's a piece of is a garbage.
Yeah, me and you are on the same page
Yeah,
there.
I mean, it needs to be goodbye. It's nothing.
Mhm.
I mean, that's where most of the negative things about me and Kyle is. I don't care for it. I mean, I used I used to like Facebook Marketplace on there because I used to look for furniture or whatever back in the day. It's like I don't even have that stuff. I don't care for having Facebook. It's just one sided. It's never two sided. Like apples and oranges, but they want apples all the time. They don't want to talk about the oranges. I don't care for it. You
So
know,
it's one of the places
I
that I shared this was the one that we had to name the Joseph Rosenbaum Memorial because Facebook was actively deleting anything that was pro Kyle back
yep.
during when all that went on. And so now I literally I changed it to the name "We Told You He Was Innocent." And I put like, because as soon as they lifted the ban, it was like, yeah, we've been hiding here this whole time, guys.
You
But
know, by the way,
I
the
pushed
height
it
of
there.
hypocrisy there, Neil, is they threw Kyle off. I mean, where you couldn't even support Kyle,
Yep.
Right.
but they fully supported Crystal Kaiser, right?
Well,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, Crystal Kaiser, that's great. Well, Kyle gets acquitted and Crystal pleads guilty. So
I
how does that
And,
work?
I
and don't
saw
forget that the Daryl Brooks was allowed
Oh,
to have a
Daryl Brooks,
GoFundMe. The
yeah.
guy who drove his car into a parade and murdered 6 people and injured 40. He was allowed to have a GoFundMe for like a week before they took it down.
that was
Go
his
ahead.
car. Yeah, not him. It was his car.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
look.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember that one.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that was.
caused by an SUV, right?
That's right.
With with the mother that was found guilty.
Ethan something.
Eth-
Ethan Crumbly.
yeah, the Crumleys or something in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
she was found guilty. Where's Kyle Rittenhouse's mom? Wendy Rittenhouse next. I'm like, really? I I watched it. I love watching documentaries. I do. I sit down.
Especially you.
I like watching documentaries. I will sit there and watch any documentary you put in front of me, and I will watch it. And I watched that one day, and I was holy
Gosh, Julia, I saw your donation. Like I got the email. Oh my god, thank you so much.
cow.
I'm sorry, like you guys donating and I'm on my period, so I'm
Oh,
like
come on.
so emotional where I could cry.
I'm just going through menopause. Come on,
Yeah, we've
come
got
on.
over 1,000 now, 11, almost $1,100. But let's keep her going. You know, they need more than that, but that's great. Um,
Making
yeah,
me.
it's so unfair how how Facebook and stuff has done this. I mean, you went through like 3 or 4 of these platforms to try to raise money for Kyle, didn't you?
23.
Wait, what?
20. We were thrown off 23. And the person that was in our circle, he busted his ass every, I mean, like 17-hour days and stuff like that to get us back on track. And if it wasn't for him doing this hard work, I mean, I'd probably be living in I mean, probably eating beans, and probably some other, um, was those little weenies out of the can or something like
The
that, or
sausages.
yeah, those
Grew up
green
on them things.
or sardines or something, ugh. Or just getting the fishing pole and just going down the creek and hoping I'll catch a fish with 3 hours or something like that.
Hey man, I like sardines. Like,
No,
get
I
yourself
had to
some
eat potted
saltines.
meat
Oh yeah.
sandwiches when I was a
Oh,
kid.
I
Potted meat sandwiches.
I give that to the cats.
Yeah, and then my mom would put the apple in with the sandwich. So when you got your sandwich out, it had this big crater in it. And of course, the potted meat would turn watery, so your bread was all soggy. Yeah, rough times.
Yeah.
But you know what? A
No.
lot better than what a lot of kids in the past had done.
It's like people talk about what they grew up on. I grew up on fish and venison.
What did I grow up on?
Oh, that's not so bad.
I no, it's like my dad was a fisherman and a hunter.
Didn't like head cheese.
And I mean, he used to go steal. I mean, still had fishing or salmon fishing, catching out of the lakes. I mean, the rivers of Lake I mean, the rivers in Michigan, king salmons. Okay, that's enough. And I grew up. Okay, that's enough, Otis. Yep, this he's such a drama king. No,
By the way, go ahead.
I don't like salmon. I'm sorry. People are like, "Oh my god, salmon's so good." I can't eat salmon.
I love salmon with some lemons on it.
Nope. Venison is like it has to be cooked really good, and I like the ribs off of it and the jerky. Where I grew up up in northern Michigan, they had this place had the best beef jerky for like the venison. Oh my god, it's so good. And when I was up there that one time, I bought some venison there. And Ted Nugent, I mean, big time up in northern Michigan.
Yeah, he's from Michigan.
Yep. I saw him.
Let's flex about the best voice actor ever, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones went to my high school. Met him twice, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Voice of Darth Vader.
I love Star Wars.
Was it Mufasa? Or whatever his name is. Yeah, he a big dude in person.
By the way, I do have to mention really quickly here. Somebody says, "What do you mean you don't like Spam?" Spam is awesome. I love the stuff.
You have to fry it. I can eat.
Fry it up.
Yeah, fry
with eggs. Man,
fry it up with
really
some scrambled eggs. That's the bomb right there.
Hey, do you want to go through the chat here, Neil, and kind of pick out some comments because we've kind of ignored them a little bit?
Yeah, I can do that.
I would, except I don't have the privileges.
Oh yeah, the privileges. Yep. So.
Yep, grill is very good.
People feel that your dog is very cute.
I would do the voice for Maggie, but my kids, the girls are probably smacking the back of my head and saying I'm
Mackenzie's sleeping.
Oh, Mackenzie.
John Jackson says sardines are great in pasta.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I think old John Jackson's got a little problem.
his problem is he wants peanut butter and jelly, apparently. So.
Oh, thank you. No, head cheese. It's everything from a pig into the sling. It says head cheese on it. My dad used to eat that when he was alive. I would not touch when I want to try to get a sandwich or something like some lunch meat. If the head cheese was in the wrapper next to the whatever, I wouldn't touch it because it was so ew. It was nasty. And when I see it in the store, I'm like, ew, gross. It's called head cheese.
Oh, by the way, it says my grandmother from Scotland was a young woman in World War II, and their ration was heavy on mutton. Mutton is horrible.
But I never had.
And by the way, I'm Scottish, so I can relate that. One of the reasons why the Scottish are good fighters is because their food sucks. I'm a full believer in that. She lived to be 97 because it toughens you up,
Boys,
and absolutely refused to eat mutton for the rest of her life.
I
Not
have,
a very smart woman because mutton is terrible.
it's
Mutton, by
like
the way, is old sheep.
no, it's like with certain food, like dessert or something. I don't like I don't like carrot cake. Something about carrot
Yeah,
cake
no,
makes
carrot cake
ugh.
is so gross.
Everybody's saying, "Oh, carrot cake's good." There's something about carrot.
Oh, I like it.
I cannot eat carrot cake. I
I
will
don't
eat the
like-
frosting off it when I take a bite of it. I thought, was that a
So
what a
what I
wedding?
don't
I
like
took a
is
bite
like
of it. I was
the
like, "Oh my god!"
spice.
Yeah.
The spice for it. But
Spice cake is not bad, but
it's like
carrot
the
cake, no.
mixture and like I don't know.
I was talking about that today about carrot cake, and I'm like, nope. If everybody knows wherever I worked at, it's like, what kind of cake you want? I said, anything besides carrot cake. I do not like carrot cake. Okay. Yeah.
I'm
She
just
does
kind of
not.
cruising through here, looking at some of the
How
comments.
can somebody
What?
not like carrot cake? I don't know if we could be friends.
Yeah,
anymore.
that's kind of odd. I mean, I think they're nuts.
But I can't eat the carrot cake.
Guys, I'm gonna send my mom this link so I can have my phone because I'm not feeling good.
Okay, Faith, we understand. You take care, okay?
I'm just gonna send my mom this link. It'll work, right?
Wherever
Yeah.
she flings it up, but yeah, I don't imagine we're gonna go too much longer anyway.
Yeah,
But
it's getting a little bit late here.
Yeah,
But
it's almost noon
um,
here.
by the way, it
Midnight.
says here, just a reminder. Wait, where I missed it.
Yeah.
Something about. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it here. It scrolled up on me. Oh, it
What
says,
was it?
Wendy, come watch the lawyers with us instead of documentaries. I have no idea what the lawyers are, but are she talking about
Me,
the law tube stuff? I don't know.
the document. I never saw anything with that. It's like with family. The mom and dad was it? Hang on, let's see.
And then my mom is joining now. She'll be on in like a second.
Yep. If it wants to go on, join line stream.
Okay, that's all right. Me and Neil can keep her going here for a while, but
Hey, what's up?
well, so far, Neil, they've raised. Let me go ahead and refresh this. 1,083, and it was 800 before we started, so that's
Yep.
pretty good. Absolutely, we appreciate everybody that's pitching in, and I'll donate a little bit more myself here. So before the night's over.
I got to mute for a second. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And Wendy is still coming in. So let me introduce myself since Neil's gone and Wendy is still coming in. But I am Johnny Walker Dread. Those of you on the Neil's channel probably have seen me before a few times, but I have a lot of videos on Kyle Rittenhouse and the whole Kenosha shootings. In fact, I have over 400. So if you're interested in Kyle Rittenhouse, the Kenosha shootings, my channel is the one to go to. I have an entire dumb argument series where I talk about the dumb arguments people make about Kyle Rittenhouse and the shootings, and there's like 90 of them. Right. So another one that I have been covering a lot lately is Rashad Ritchie. I absolutely detest the asshole. I cannot stand that total classless jerk. If you don't like Rashad Ritchie, I have over 40 videos and I have cost him some money. In fact, my constant pounding of Rashad Ritchie cost him $2,000 because he had to actually fork over money to a middle school that he promised and he had no intention of paying. But I hammered and hammered and hammered him, and he finally had to fork up some money. Keep in mind, he promised 18,000. He made a big deal on his channel. He's going to pay the $18,000, and I found out from the actual director of the place that he promised the money to that he only gave 2,000. So I have another video coming out. It's going to be up tomorrow, where I compare Rashad Ritchie to Michael Scott, and I have an actual who is the biggest scumbag, basically a survey. And so I'm walking through. Who is the bigger scumbag, Michael Scott or Rashad Ritchie? So if you hate the man, you really need to subscribe to my channel because I'm all over him. and we got Wendy back, so now I can quit the stalling here.
That's all right.
Okay, and I got Neil back too. All right,
Yeah, I
so
just I had to get
I thought
something
I
to
did
eat.
pretty good
So.
there, right? I kept it going. I kept my mouth motoring.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you guys are also like new to listening to Johnny Walker Dread, make sure that you check out his channel. At Johnny Walker Dread is what I have listed on the YouTube. But if you guys like my content, you'll probably like his, especially those of you who are like my conservative audience who just puts up with the fact that I have some left leaning ideas. You know, Johnny's much more right leaning than I am.
Yeah, and
So
I'm funnier. I'm
yeah,
funny.
funnier looking, definitely. So.
Well, you never seen me without my sunglasses, so how would you know?
Well, it's true. I mean, well, hey, my face is a Guy Fawkes mask, so it's not like I'm not funny looking.
At least
So.
I show my face.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm just trying to save everyone from the, if
The horror.
everyone were to realize how handsome I was, then it would be a real problem.
I'd lose all my subscribers. They'd go to you. I mean,
Right? Exactly. So instead, I just got to speak with the Velvet V
people would be
radio
saying, "Well, that must be Kyle's dad."
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. I'll be Kyle's next dad
You'll be
now.
you'll be Kyle's next dad,
When
right?
we like one of those when you go to the deli, one of those machines like serving number one, serving number two, serving
Right.
Oh, by the
yeah.
way, there's been some debate, Wendy. Maybe you can clear this thing up. But did Kyle spend a lot of time with his father during the up until the time of the shootings? But did he like go there all the time and spend the night with him, or what was the deal with that?
Well, I mean, Kyle, I always tell the kids, I mean, if you want to spend time with your dad, you can spend time with your dad. He would just go over there, like, hey, dad, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, he did try to make efforts on, I mean, to be with his dad, but um, Mike would always like, hey, buddy, what you doing? And stuff like that. And I mean, his dad was never around, with the
Mhm.
drugs and alcohol, living with other women and stuff like that. And Mike raising two other kids that's not his kids, it affected Kyle and the girls and stuff like that. And I was very angry towards him. And I always told the kids, always tell the truth to your dad, no matter what. And Kyle had a lot of. I mean, in the book, Kyle was right. He was mad and angry towards it. I'm like, you always be honest about it. And he did try to make amends with um his dad and everything, but it was like his dad, their dad.
Tried like during the trial and after, like my dad will occasionally text me saying like, "Hey, have you heard from Kyle?"
But they had. I mean, I mean, after the trial. I mean, when everything happened and stuff like that. I mean, nobody didn't know who Mike was. It was always about
They still don't.
they seriously. I was the mom and dad with that.
Mhm.
Kyle for like Father's Day, he would say Happy Mom Day, mom and dad,
Mhm.
and because I was always raising Kyle, and Kyle always said, this is, I mean now, um, the book was. I mean, he before he wrote the book, he said my dad is dead to me. I
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. He said what?
Kyle, I mean, before the book, when Kyle was around, Kyle said, "My dad is dead to me. He doesn't care. I mean, all he cares about is he never cared about me or my sisters. Why should I care about him? He's dead. And even when he got out of jail, first thing he said, "How's jail, buddy?" Not even like, "Hey, how are you? How's jail?" He was very upset about that. I always try to tell the kids, "Oh, that is your dad. You always have to have respect for it." Well,
Mhm. By the way, we have a question here. Wasn't he at his dad's in Kenosha when the incident happened? No. He was at his friend's Dominic Black's house. And I think that the question I kind of had was he didn't go to Kenosha to spend the night with his dad a lot or anything like that.
I mean, he like stop over like here and there like once, a couple times, but it's like,
Right.
you know sometimes he was working, sometimes not. It's like it was a hit and miss. It was always he tried. I mean, Kyle tried. And Mike tried, but their relationship, there was hardly a relationship in the beginning. But he always. I mean, Kyle would have went over there. It's like, hey, Dad, you got $20 for gas or something? Oh, I don't have it. Ask your mom. It's like mom doesn't have. That's why I'm here to ask you for $20, like for gas, like a normal teenager would do. Hey, you got gas money, mom or dad? But I try to not with the kids. If you want to have a relationship with your dad, go ahead. That is your dad. Me and your dad, we're done. We're over that. That bridge has been burnt, torched, and everything like that. It's done and over with. The kids are not minors; they're grown young adults, and they can make their own decision on with being with their dad or not. I mean, talking to their dad. Faith and talks to her dad. Mackenzie, I I think so because Mackenzie don't. She will say, "Yeah, I talked to Dad here and there," but she's very quiet about it.
Just a few notes here. One question here was this whole media narrative of you having a neutral divorce. I'm not sure what the question is. It looks like they got kind of like they might have hit the enter button first, but when did you and your husband get formally divorced? Was it before or after the trial?
After,
Okay.
let me see, 21, is it 21, 20, a year ago.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, technically, we see Mackenzie's 20. It was 2018 when we moved down here 2 years ago. Actually, 2 years. It'll be 2 years. It'll be coming up on 2 years. Sorry about that. It's coming up on 2 years
Mhm.
in July because I wait because I couldn't afford the money. We were separated for the long periods of time. He want his way. I want that way. Um, had the kids and everything. Had to, had the kids and stuff, raised the kids and stuff while he did his own thing. It was just me and the kids. It's always been me and the three kids. You know, every picture you saw, it's just me and the kids. That's who I lived and breathed for. To this day, I breathe for my kids. And I I wish I had Kyle back in my life, and I love him and I miss him. I miss Milo too, um,
Mhm.
the dog.
But you'll always be there for him
Oh,
if he
matter
needs you.
what, I will always be there for him, no matter what. Because with the civil lawsuit coming up, I probably have to go up to Wisconsin, and
Uh,
lawyers are there. They're probably listening. Go ahead, bitches. I
oh
got
wow, okay. Now you think you're going to be subpoenaed?
Yeah, guaranteed because they want to know exactly how Kyle was Kyle racist, Kyle this, Kyle that. You know what?
Doesn't
Really,
seem relevant, but
it's not relevant.
yeah.
And I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I take time out of work, fly
Okay,
up.
just let me stop you for a moment, Wendy. I just want to make sure that you understand that um, you don't want to be careful about saying things that could come back
Yeah,
at you. Okay, so just be careful.
no, it's bullshit. That's all it is. It's simple.
Mhm.
It's bullshit.
It's civil trial is absolutely BS. Okay, I have a lot of videos about the actual civil trials. In fact, I have read both of the lawsuits. One filed on behalf of John Huber, and the other one filed on the behalf of, um, Gage Grosskreutz, which wasn't hard because they one copied the
But
other, right? It is absolutely the stupidest thing I've ever read. Keep in mind, I'm a technical writer. I take this stuff very seriously. And I'm reading these lawsuits and thinking, if I'm the judge, I throw them out. This is the lamest, dumbest thing that I've seen. For example, telling people that Kyle Rittenhouse was deputized. What the hell was that about, right? But they actually wrote that. the lawsuits are filled with lies and stuff like that. Never mentioning that Gage Grosskreutz had a pistol on him. I
Mhm.
mean,
Kyle,
really?
Kyle explained in one of his um, interviews he did, what I saw a couple weeks ago, did not mention that the other person had a pistol. You know,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like that's a material fact that you left out of a lawsuit. I mean, I can't imagine if I'm a. But keep in mind, this is a federal deal. I don't know how they deal with it. I did ask Natalie Wisco about this, and
hmm
I asked her. I said, "Well, I mean, the fact that they left out obviously material facts, isn't that an issue?" She said, "No, not really. There's this sort of good faith deal that they have where they're very loose with this kind of stuff, and that bothers me. To me, like if you're a lawyer, you're supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to be a like a professional writer as part of it. I cannot believe that they allow this crap to go on. But I don't have a lot of respect for the legal profession because of this kind of stuff.
So
you know,
wanted to. Oh no, go ahead. You go ahead, Wendy.
no, I mean, when it goes, when the civil stuff happens and everything, are they going to have? I mean, are they going to try to settle before they pick a jury? You know, I would love to see Joellen again, the one that was our jury consultant for the trial. I think she did OJ's. She was the rock. I mean, she was my rock. When Kyle was testifying, I mean, she's a wonderful lady, and I miss her and stuff like that. I do have her number, and I did my new number. I texted her, "Hey, this is Wendy, blah blah blah." Um, I didn't get nothing back. If she's out there listening, I wish you well, and I hope you're doing. I mean, I wish you well, and I miss you. So,
That's pretty awesome. So, if you
yeah,
guys don't mind, I wanted to take 6 minutes and play a video I just did recently about Gage
Sure.
Grosskreutz and
I
Kyle. And
know what you're talking about. This is good.
yeah, so give me just a moment here and I'll pop it up. But you're listening to V Radio and Johnny Walker Dread. Please make sure you check out our channels and our archives. I think you'll like both of our content. You can check me out in a lot of different places at hy.page/V Radio.
Yeah. Hey, Neil, I'm going to grab me another drink here while you're watching because I've seen this video.
No problem, no problem.
I'll be
All
right
right, hold
back.
on a second. Let me just pull it
you
up.
know, oh, I'm off work. I might have a drink and come work drunk.
Well, this isn't a Nick Rekieta stream, so we don't usually get drunk during the stream. But
Yeah,
but you can take some time after that because I don't think we'll be on too terribly much longer today. But all right, let me pull this up.
Nathan texted me and showed me. I'm like, who is these? Because I couldn't zoom in on my phone. I'm like, who is that? It's something about the. It's like, no, this is Nikita. Blah blah blah. I'm like, what the hell happened to him? He showed me pictures of him from before he started, and now you can tell that he looked like shit.
All right, guys. So give me just a moment here. We're gonna go and play this video. You can check it out, Wendy, and give me your thoughts after we're done. And this is me kind of critiquing Gage Grosskreuz's new position as a speaker on college campuses. So, but he wouldn't big size it.
With him,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, everybody has the right to speak wherever they wanted to go. He has the right to do that. That is his right. I'm I I don't have a problem with that. When he shows up, when Kyle is speaking at one of the colleges, yeah, I do have a problem with that because Kyle's safety is involved. And
No, I don't disagree.
I mean, he
Um,
has the right to speak. I mean, he has the right to speak like everybody else does, even like Kyle does. Kyle has the right to speak to anywhere he wants to. Also, that's the only thing that I mean, that's the only thing I agree on. He has the right to speak, and whatever he speaks and everything, whatever. It's because he's a part of this. He's a part of this, whatever you want to call it. He what survived, whatever. But he forgets to mention that he pointed a pistol at Kyle's head.
Oh, we're going to go over that here in this video real quick. So let me mute everybody, and then we'll be back in 6 minutes. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Let's check out my recent little video, which, by the way, Gage did watch this and, of course, didn't care for it. Hello, everybody. Sorry that I've been gone so long. I just needed a long break. But I wanted to put this together for you guys. I was inspired specifically of none other than Gage Grosskreutz. And I was kind of surprised that I guess only now is it really getting attention, but Gage had decided it would be a good idea for him to start becoming a public speaker on the issue of Kyle Rittenhouse. But what I really want to address is how the lies just never stop. They're just content to continue lying to themselves over and over again. Let's have a look.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on this lovely afternoon. My name is Paul Prediger. Many of you know me as Gage Grosskreutz. On August 25th, 2020, Kyle Rittenhouse shot me in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
You think you're leaving anything out there, Gage? I mean, Paul, I mean, Gage. Any, like, details, perhaps?
So tell me if I've got the lay of the land. At this point, you're holding a loaded, chambered Glock 27 in your right hand. Yes?
That is correct, yes.
You are advancing on Mr. Rittenhouse, who is seated on his butt, right?
That is correct.
You're moving forward and your right hand drops down with your gun. Your hands are no longer up, and now the gun is pointed in the direction of Mr. Rittenhouse. Agree? I'll give you a picture. Maybe that'll help. So, Mr. Grosskreutz, I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit 67. That's a photo of you, yes?
Yes.
Okay. That's Mr. Rittenhouse?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you'd agree your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And once your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, that's when he fires his gun. Yes?
No.
Sir, look, I don't want to... Does this look like right now your arm is being shot?
That looks like my bicep being vaporized. Vaporized, yes.
Okay. And it's being vaporized as you're pointing your gun directly at him. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were standing 3 to 5 feet from him with your arms up in the air, he never fired, right?
Correct.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
Enough of the flawed logic that because a 17-year-old who shot me and killed 2 others with an illegally obtained firearm, an illegally carried firearm, is...
This kind of nonsense is the reason why I still end up on Twitter having to argue with people about this, but there's a reason why this charge was dropped. It just didn't qualify. Minors are allowed to carry long-barreled rifles. Now, mind you, the intent was so that parents could take their kids out to go deer hunting or whatever, but it doesn't change the fact that this charge was dropped for a reason.
Is the firearm here now?
Yes.
We can either measure it, or you can stipulate that it does not meet what I've stated are the requirements. And if it is out of compliance, if the barrel length is less than 60 inches, or an overall length less than 26 inches, then I'll deny the motion. If it does not meet those specifications, then this defense motion will be granted.
We are not disputing that the barrel length is appropriate.
Isn't legal?
It is not a short-barreled shotgun or a short-barreled rifle. Yes.
Either by barrel or by overall length?
Correct.
All right, and then count 6 is dismissed.
Also on the topic of the firearm being illegally obtained, all charges against Dominic Black in this regard were dropped. One of the reasons I needed to take a break for a while is because it's somewhat blackpilling to deal with the fact that we are still seeing this kind of nonsense repeated, and in this instance by somebody who was literally involved, literally there, literally part of the incident in question, and he's just content to continue lying, which then in turn leads to Twitter being full of lies on this topic. I still have to tell people that Kyle Rittenhouse didn't shoot black people. I still have to tell people that Kyle Rittenhouse fired in self-defense. But at the end of the day, one of the things that has been a problem with the current alt-left is that the facts of the situation are completely secondary to what they want to believe. And what they want to believe is that Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber and Gage Grosskreutz are all heroes, you know, and victims in this situation, but they attacked him. It's really that simple. Gage had said some stuff during his conversation, kind of calling out Kyle for his grift, and I don't completely disagree with that. You know, he did talk about different things that, you know, Kyle was there selling and how ridiculously expensive they were. And obviously I've come out on the side of Kyle's family when it comes to Kyle's book that he's selling. However, it looks like Gage is still selling something else.
Or to sell you the lies of BLM. Or to sell you the lies of BLM. Or to sell you the lies of BLM.
All right, so 6 minutes, all finished. If you guys like that content, I do a lot of stuff like that. Hold on a second.
No!
We don't need to watch that.
What happened to Wendy?
Oh, she should still be here.
Oh, she's still there. Hey, I got a lot to say about this kind of stuff because I've had a lot of conversations with Gage over the last 6 months or so. Number one, I want to straighten somebody, make something straight here. The length of the actual rifle was really not an issue at all. Everybody knew that the rifle was long enough to be, you know, considered as, you know, part of the exception. The real question came down to the whole hunting certificate deal. That's what gave the judge the most trouble. And it was also the reason why the judge finally said, look, this is so confusing. I cannot ask a jury to weigh this legal argument. And that's why he threw the whole charge of the gun possession out. The length of the barrel was nothing. I mean, it was only because it was decided at the end that everybody thought that, well, what it all came down to was the length of the rifle. If the rifle was too short, they would never have been able to sell it. So everybody knew that the barrel was long enough. A couple of things that came out in my discussions with Gage. Number one was that he claimed that Binger told him that he wished he had shot Kyle dead. A lot of people never knew that. It's on my channel. I actually have videos on it where I actually show what Gage told me. And it was actually, Binger was actually reported to the state over that. And I ended up in an exchange with the state over the whole deal. Nothing came of it in the end, but Binger got reported for that. And yeah, so he actually said at one time that he had wished that Gage had shot Kyle dead. It would have saved the taxpayers a lot of money.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He probably never, if Gage would have shot Kyle, what would happen to Gage? Nothing and everything.
Probably. Yeah, it's probably not. Kyle has raised that question a lot during his speeches, is that if Gage had shot me, would he have even been charged?
You know, and that's the thing, it's like he's saying, oh, I should have shot him and everything. And Kyle, Gage, Paul, whatever name he goes by with now, he talks so much stuff about Kyle and everything. Kyle doesn't say anything. There was probably one post that he should have shot him dead. That's what Kyle put on one thing, but Kyle deleted it. Like I said, Gage has the right, or Gage Paul, whatever his name is, what he goes by. He has the right to speak, but speak the truth. I don't go out and talk about the incident or anything like that, because yeah, I did live that with my son. I, if I was there, like everybody said, I was there, it would have been me protecting Kyle. I would never let anybody touch Kyle at all. A mother would protect her own child, and I would never let none of them touch Kyle, because it would have been me defending Kyle
Mhm.
and protecting him. And people say, and people like wouldn't didn't say anything else. No, get that straight. If I was there, I would protect him, and I would have probably died in the process, but I would be dying for my child. And these people say,
Totally get it.
yeah, you know, and people
Mhm.
say, oh, there and everything. No, no, if I was there, I'll be the one dying for my child. And people like him going on telling lies about Kyle and everything and this and that, just you have the right to speak. Just speak the truth. Yeah, you had a Glock. You had a Glock pointing to Kyle's head. You wish you had a chance to pull the trigger. You didn't.
Mhm. In whole the Gage's testimony that, well, I would never pull the trigger on somebody. Like, then why do you have a CCW? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? There's another thing that Gage said to me in email that caught the attention of Natalie Wisco, and that is, he said, and I'm going to paraphrase as close as I can. He said, "With every fiber of my being, I have nothing against Kyle Rittenhouse."
Mhm.
And so all of a sudden, I get Kyle telling me, "Hey, I need you to talk to Natalie Wisco." And so I zoomed with her, and she basically wants to know, like, when did this happen? Because she subpoenaed that email, and I have a feeling that is not going to work in Gage's favor. Like, wait, are you telling me that you have nothing against the guy, even though you're suing him? So we'll see.
And
I don't know little
police,
things now, but go
there's
ahead.
10 reason why. 10
You're
reasons.
broke up a little bit. You're gonna have to start over, I think, Wendy.
Oh, 10 million reasons why. Like,
Yeah, that's right. 10 million reasons why.
why?
But unfortunately, that doesn't hold up well. I mean, you have to. I mean, if you're going to sue somebody because you claim that they maimed you for life, you should be holding a grudge against them.
No,
Right? I mean, it's like this whole thing of, I really don't. I mean, he's a good dude after all. I mean, that doesn't hold up well.
no,
So yeah, and the other thing about that Gage is going to have troubles with, and that is on the stand, he said that he pointed the gun at Kyle, but afterwards he said he wasn't. So
mhm.
he's going to have an issue with that one. And people have been asking, is this thing even going to go to trial? Here's my prediction. And Neil, I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on this too. But
Sure.
my feeling about it is that the cities are going to give some going away money, like leave us alone. Here's 10 grand, enough to pay off the lawyers, go away. And that's going to be the end of it. Because if
It is
if I'm the lawyer, go ahead, I'm sorry.
2024. It's election year. Every election year, there's some kind of bullshit that goes on.
Well,
She's
I think
right.
that this will go into 2025 though. I don't think you're going to see anything in 2024.
Mhm.
This is going to be delayed out. I think Gage told me that we're looking at 2025, and I kind of tend to believe him. But the thing about it is that if I am Kimberly Motley, who is Gage's Grosskreutz, and I'd have to lower my IQ down by about 30 points to be in that position. But if I'm Kimberly Motley, I'm thinking there is no way in hell I want Gage taking the stand for any reason against Mark Richards.
No,
Okay. So if I'm offered a settlement by the city for anything, I'll just take it and run because Mark Richards is going to absolutely motherfuck Gage Grosskreutz on the stand.
Is
And
he going to be his lawyer again? Has that been established?
what
Mark
Mark would.
Richards, and Natalie Wisco are Kyle's lawyers.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Gage Grosskreutz has Kimberly Motley, who, in my opinion, is dumber than dog shit. So I and look, it comes down to who's got the best lawyers. Okay, it does come down to that, and Kyle's got them beat. Now that assumes that Kyle can keep them paid, because Mark and Natalie will fly like the wind if the money doesn't keep rolling in. And so I don't criticize Kyle so much for the public speaking appearances and the book in a way, because I think he's trying to raise money to keep those people on staff. So I get it. People often tell me, well, why doesn't Kyle get a real job? Well, you can't go to McDonald's and make enough money to pay these lawyers. Go ahead,
Remember,
Wendy.
with the defense, when we had going through the trial and stuff like that, we had to do all the GoFundMe's, Give Some Go, and we were deplatformed 23 times trying to raise money because people didn't want to be socialized with Kyle because the media put him as a vigilante, white supremacist. Horrible thing. And even we tried to do like a different GoFundMe for me and the girls. It got shut down. Not once stated that we're Kyle's family members. It was just a picture of me and Mackenzie, and it got shut down. And it's like, really? Nothing stated about Kyle or anything like that. It was just a picture of me and Mackenzie at the time. And
all right.
it's
Yeah, Neil, about you? Do you have some take on this? What do you think?
Well, it was, well, we talked earlier about how these places like kind of have an obvious like corporate bias that is leaning in the woke direction of everything. It's just basically, I think that I look forward to all of this blowing over so that the Rittenhouse family in totality can try to move on. As far as like Richards being the lawyer still, he was pretty good. I talked to Shifarasi very briefly on the phone once because of the video that Binger was circulating claiming that Joseph Rosenbaum wasn't present at the what was it? It was whatever building they were standing by through most of the beginning of the videos that I looked at, and
whatever.
But Rosenbaum was in fact there, and like he just like Binger just, there's no way Binger didn't know that. He just lied on the stand or whatever it is the lawyers do. But and then I see that the dog has joined the stream again. How's it going, Poochie? Yeah, I'm gonna make the other one bark at you though. But
she lays in my bed, hogs to bed.
So, but I do want to play this super brief clip of something to kind of add a little bit of lightheartedness to the stream, if you guys don't mind. It's only about 30 seconds long.
Do it.
Thank you.
Right, 1 second. All right, 1 second. You're listening to V Radio. And now, Disco Inferno, starring Gage Grosskreutz, in his unfortunate moment, shared here today with you. We're going to roll the tape.
Over here. Ow! Listen. I wonder, do you understand what I'm talking about? I'm not talking about burning down a building. It's coming from the soul. Let's go!
I hadn't seen that before.
You've never seen that before? Oh, no. Man. When I was
I gotta tell Gage, hey man, next time you get shot, don't act so goofy.
No, dude, he like ran off screaming like a freaking little girl. It was crazy. He was all tough for a few seconds, and then he wasn't. No, I play that every time he tries to, because like when I argue,
He got hit by a car too. How many 9 lives does he have?
Yeah.
every time I argue with him on Twitter, he like he'll play little video memes or something to try to make fun of me. So I'll just put that one up there. It's like so. Yeah.
Mhm.
But
And
anyway,
I should mention, by the way, that typically my stance towards Gage Grosskreutz isn't quite as negative as most people's. You know, I kind of felt that maybe he kind of thought he was doing the right thing and just made a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, his behavior afterwards has been a little bit spotty, but during that night, people have been saying, "Well, why doesn't he go to jail?" I don't think he committed a crime. I really don't.
No,
Go ahead. I'm
you
sorry, Wendy.
you had, let me see, everybody's screaming there was an active shooter. Remember who shot the gun? I mean, shot in the air first. Zeminski. They were the ones who started the whole domino effect from them trying with Rosenbaum, Hubert, and Grossford. Okay, you have to start from the beginning. It was fucking them. The crazy wife, crazy ugly ass man, saying get him, kill him, craning his ass about Kyle.
Zeminski.
Yeah, Zeminski. That's the people. That's the ones that started this shit. That's who the ones that get him to Kyle. Oh, that's an actor. Get his ass. Get his ass. You can hear in the videos of those two idiots screaming, get Kyle's ass," and everything. What happened to them? Oh, they're in prison for 3 years for arson.
Yeah, I did a whole video breaking down their testimony to the cops. It was pretty
Oh,
hilarious.
that, by the
Actually.
way, was wonderful. That's Daryl Brooks level of bullshit.
Right. Well, he claimed like if you listen to Zeminski's version of the story, you would think he was an '80s action hero, like like pulling his gun on Kyle and all of that. No, it was.
Oh yeah,
that
the
was pretty crazy.
explosion behind him as he's walking away nonchalantly.
Okay. Kyle's 5'8" and was it him? 5'9", 5'8", 5'9". Okay, baby face, and he was worried about him going to shoot. I mean, Kyle was going to shoot him and his wife. Dude, you had a criminal record a mile long, longer probably, and your wife's same, and you were scared of a 17-year-old. You're a lying sack of dog shit.
By the way, there's some comments in the section here, but for real, cut her off. People are thinking that maybe what am I saying? People are thinking that maybe Wendy is talking on stuff that she shouldn't. Is that the case? I haven't heard anything from Wendy that would be of
I
any
think
issue at
it's all
all.
pretty much public knowledge. It's not like she's saying anything.
Yeah, I don't see anything there. But yeah, Zeminski has escaped a lot of people's notice, but he's a bad dude.
He
I mean,
is.
totally despicable. And one of the questions was, did he rob people at an ATM? He kidnapped people and took them to the ATM.
Yeah.
Wife, and even the wife said the person raped her, and that's why they went to the apartment house, whatever. He confronted. Then he kidnapped the guy, took him to the ATM. It's like that. I don't know where in Kenosha it was at. Was at the guy went in and say, "Call the police. I've been kidnapped." And those two people were standing there. Where's my money? Where's my money? No. I hope prison life is well for both of them, and I hope they don't get out good behavior. I hope that something happens to them that takes on longer sentencing for them, because these two people are not good people. They're horrible people. They think they know the law. They think they're above the law, but they're not. They're garbage. They're pieces of garbage that destroyed. I do believe. I do believe it's them. They're the one that started it in the domino effect. And
that was something I went over in my documentary because he was the one nobody's talking about, and he's by far the most responsible, really.
I should stop you, Wendy, for just a moment because people are really concerned about what you're talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, and people can disagree, but nothing that Wendy has said is admissible. I mean, she's entitled to have whatever opinions she has about Zeminski and Grosskreutz and all that. It doesn't matter at all in a civil trial. Now, if Kyle was on here talking this, that would be a different matter. But she is just the mother of one of the plaintiffs, or I guess that Kyle is a plaintiff and a defendant, and none of this is going to matter at all. I mean, what would you make of it? So she doesn't like Grosskreutz. She doesn't like Zeminski. So what? What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, I agree. But I totally get it. I understand that they're just concerned. It's
I
just
mean,
a
we
matter
want to
of,
be careful, but
but
she's not the defendant or the plaintiff here. So her opinions don't really matter at all. Now, if she was talking about how Kyle was talking about Zeminski and all that kind of stuff, that might be an issue. But no, I mean, she's entitled to have her opinions on this stuff and express them.
You know, they were. I mean, we had they were called up to testify, but we didn't. Mark didn't them on the stand. I mean, it's like this. They talked about him and everything. When we had a recess, when I was walking out, he was sitting down, laughing, smiling, thinking this was a joke. No, this wasn't a joke. My son's life was hanging. I mean, my son's life was hanging on a balance, and he was facing life in prison. And this um, guy, piece of garbage, sitting there laughing and everything. And I froze, and it took everything I had not to go up there and kick him his gonads and stuff like that, because I was frozen. I couldn't move until my security guard pushed me. He was like, "Come on, let's go." I'm like, I couldn't move because I was frozen, and my eyes locked on him, and it's just like that bear of me wanted to come out, but my security was there. It's like, let's go, let's go. And he's like, "What's wrong, Ma?" And I told him. He's like, well, at least you're away from him. And I'm like, it's just, I have no use for people like that. He destroyed my family and 3 other people's family in this tragedy, and he's sitting 3 years in prison.
well,
And
good riddance on that. I mean, he also threatened photo Chad too. Like I
yeah,
remember.
Nathan, him threatening Nathan. Nathan is one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my. Oh, I love Nathan.
Well, that's one of the crazy things about it was that like one of the charges against Kyle had to do with like what was it, like something along the lines of like putting people in danger by firing off their firearm, but like no such firearm charges came towards Zeminski. In fact, like the only thing he got charged with that evening at all was like lighting the fire in the dumpster. He's not even the original person who did it. It was just this strange move by Binger to in some way incriminate him in some way, but again, it's kind of like what was the name of the channel? I used a clip from her video. I think you know who I'm talking about, Johnny. One of the ladies who did a video, then but she analyzed just the way that he fired off his pistol and then just kind of casually strolled along, like like the chaos of the situation.
I know who you're talking about. I just
I
cannot
can't
remember.
remember
That's
her name.
way back. Yeah.
Blonde girl. She actually
Yeah.
deleted her video, but I still have it in my documentary. What were you saying, Wendy? I'm sorry.
Yeah, when he fired that pistol, everybody scattered, and he's
Right.
just walking like he's getting ice cream at the ice cream store, like no care in the world. He was laughing. He knew what he was doing. He knew what was going to happen. He wanted Kyle to get hurt or die or get murdered or killed, whatever, in this riot and stuff like that. I get nightmares about what if Kyle did die? What if he I mean, what if Rosenbaum took his gun and turned it on Kyle? What I mean, I play that stuff in my mind all the. I mean, play that in my mind. I mean, after the fact, for like months after the shooting, and when certain things come up that night, I will have a nightmare and I can't sleep because that that nightmare feels so realistic, and I'm thinking that when Kyle did talk to me, I would text him in the middle of the night, "Is everything okay?" And he's like 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, "It's Mom, it's 3 o'clock in the morning." Yeah, I'm okay. I was going to bed. I'm like in the realistic of that dream. I was like waking up cold sweats, crying, freaking out. I'm like, "Are you okay?" To Kyle, because I'm like that dream I had night. It was a nightmare of that. What if Kyle did die? And I, certain things would trigger, like fireworks. I can't be. I mean, it would bring back those videos of the guns and stuff like that. I get my anxiety gets kicked in. I can't sleep, and every August 25th, my anxiety is much higher that day than certain days. I mean, because that is my life changed, my everybody's life, my life, everybody else's life changed on that day, and I try to get past it, but I can't. And I did see a therapist for it, and and when we were in Wisconsin at the time, and we talked about it, and she goes like, "You need to express more and stuff like that," but still I was like, I don't want to because it's like a tragic event that happened in my family, and I try to forget about it, but it's like certain people still like say your son is a murderer, he's in a Ku Klux Klan, he's this and that. they, they don't know Kyle, they don't know Kyle, and they don't know my family and what we had to go through, and even Amita, even our family, their family, what they have to go through, and it's sad, because we have to live with it day by day, and it's like I try my best to put on a smile and put my big girl pants on and just go to work and put a fake smile on my face, and it's hard. And seeing stuff on the internet that are lies or people saying lies, it's just is they don't have the correct story, and it's like, how can you get the correct narrative out there about that night? Because this is what happened, this is what truly happened, and they don't see it. They just see what they see on CNN or the Young Turks, and it's difficult. And people in the beginning thinking we were rich. No, we weren't rich. To this day, we're not rich. I'm,
Yeah, well, you're definitely not rich. That's why we're here tonight, right?
and it's like people, the people don't understand that you're just seeing the wrong narrative about things that you saw on CNN or any news thing for to say, like, get clapped, like, oh my god, I know those people, they are, dude, man, that was like 30 years ago. I don't even remember your name, come on, give me a break, go. One of my friends would say, go tell them, go pack Santa, or don't even listen to them. It's like it was very difficult for a lot for me, reading all these negative things about Kyle and my family. It was very hard. And after a while, you're like, I know who my family is. I know how I raised my son. I know how my son is. They don't. They want to stereotype my family and drag my family in the mud. They don't know me from Jack and Jill. My name is Wendy Rittenhouse. My son is Kyle Rittenhouse. And if you don't like it, you don't have to talk to me. You don't have to look at me. You can turn the other way because I'm putting my head up high and I'm walking with a smile on my face.
I mean, that's one of the things that I try to get across to people is the Rittenhouses are normal people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're
Like whatever
bunch.
caricature you have is
Mm-hmm.
wrong. These are
Yeah,
very normal people. They work and they have all of the strengths and bent and negatives and stuff like that of everybody.
exactly.
And it's just hard to get across to people because they're so used to stereotyping, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
everything. And part of the whole idea, by the way, of the fact that they're rich is that you're white, and they just think, they look at you and they say, oh well, they must have a lot of money. It's like, no, there are poor white people too.
There is poor
Yeah.
white people that live in the ghetto. We
Absolutely.
kids lived in the for I don't know how many years when the kids were little. How many years we lived in the ghetto? We mind our own business. I said, I waved to my if my neighbor say hi, how you doing? How you doing? And I walk by. I mind my own business. It wasn't
Mhm.
one of the parents calling the cops. Oh my God, they're fighting. Nope. You see something, you close your blind, your curtains. You don't say shit. But
Yeah.
they blame my family. I don't know why. I mean, because I'm like, it's no, I mind my own business. Anything happens, you guys can do whatever, beating each other up. I don't care. It doesn't concern me. I'm closing my curtains. Even at work, if it doesn't involve me, I don't do it.
So a longtime follower of the channel has asked if you guys still talk to Dominic Black.
You know what? I have Dominic on Snap, and he's the only. Dominic is like a kid to me, and I love Dominic so much. And I love this little kid. I call him Little Homer. And yeah, Dominic, we snap back and forth together. Me and him have a streak going on. My girls won't do that with me. Only Dominic. I love Dominic, and I, I miss miss his little, miss his little face, and I always call him Rattle Homer, and he knows it. Once they get a nickname, they're like, "Oh, your mom gave me a nickname."
I talked to Dominic about a week ago, and he's got a family, as you know, Wendy. He's working in the construction business
Mm-hmm.
and doing okay. I mean, obviously, he wished he could be doing a little bit better, but he's doing okay,
Mm-hmm.
and everything seems to have settled down for him, raising a family and all. The last time, before then, the last time I talked to him was getting advice from him on my own home because I had some tile that I was going to be putting in, and I needed some advice on that. So I called in. That's what he is. He specializes in tile and stuff like that. But so yeah, I am in constant contact with Dominic, and he seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah. My sister, when we before the shooting, we went to West Virginia, and Dominic went with them. And my brother-in-law Charlie, he's like, "What's um?" Because his name is Dominic, and he had Mackenzie. He had McDonald. I mean, was it McDominic? And my brother goes McDonald, and he called Dominic McDonald all the time. It's like, how's McDonald doing? Or even my sister Barb, will talk about him. It's like, how's McDonald doing? And and Charlie is like, everything is like, he'll ask like, how's Charlie doing? Everything, and I tell me he's doing good, and explaining stuff. But my brother-in-law is a very religious person. They kind of bumped heads in a little bit, but they aired it out, and he he worried. I mean, Charlie worried. My brother-in-law Charlie worries about him and stuff. It's like, he'll ask Barb. It's like, how's McDonald doing? Ask Wendy or something like that. And Barb will ask. It's like, yeah, how's McDonald doing and everything? And I was like, oh, he's doing good. saw the picture of the baby and stuff, and I'll send it to her. It's like, oh, he's so adorable and stuff. They love, my they love him and stuff like that. And when and I showed a picture of my brother David because my brother David came down here a couple weeks ago. Sprite. He went to one of the places and he's like, "Hey, hey Homer?" I'm like, "Hey, what?" He goes, "Are you working?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm in town." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I saw my brother after 3 years, and we sat there and talked for like 5, 6 hours, and it was like it didn't seem like it'd been 3 years that we didn't see each other. We were just talking back and forth and everything. We're talking about the kids and stuff of what's going on up in Michigan. And I looking at him, I said, "Damn, you're getting old. Look at all that gray hair." He goes, "Where's yours?" I said, "It's called hair dye." But
Oh man.
Well,
but
guys, it's go ahead and finish what you were going to say, Wendy.
I said, "It's 1 o'clock. Damn, man, I have to get up."
Yeah,
at
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we've been at this for a while,
Well,
so but
before
you
we
guys,
go, I have
yeah,
to
go
answer
ahead.
the question about what I'm drinking. I started out with Evan Williams, and I'm drinking Koval, Koval, out of Chicago. My favorite drink of all. The oat whiskey is excellent. Okay, that's it.
All
No,
right.
whoever has that Rittenhouse bourbon or scotch,
Yeah,
that's it.
I
What
never have drinking it, but
I haven't either. I just want the bottle.
I see.
But I have let me see, a bottle of spice rum I got for my birthday last year. I think I took 2 shots of it. It's still on the counter. Yeah. But anybody who has saw the Rittenhouse whiskey,
I've
oh,
never had it, and
sure.
hey Neil, how about a last ditch? Let's one final promotion for the
Yeah,
fundraiser.
that's why I'm bringing it up here. It's
Okay,
now at
good.
$1,270. Went up considerably during the course of this conversation. So thank you everybody who donated to the Rittenhouse family. To those of you listening to this later, please don't hesitate to do the same. Again, if you're trying to find it, it's in the description of my channel, or not my channel, my of this video. I don't know. I imagine Johnny will do the same with his own, or at least put it in the comments.
Absolutely.
And for those of you who are over on other platforms watching, such as Twitter, I did post it below the Twitter feed, which again, the Twitter feed is actually getting a crazy amount of viewers in comparison, like way more viewers. Like, so I guess I'm gonna have to be sure I always stream to Twitter from now on. But anyway, um, thanks for coming on, Wendy, again, and thank Faith for us again. Even though she was feeling kind of crummy, and I mean,
Yeah.
and I dropped $50 on this thing, and guys, try to reach in there and do the same. And that was the thing that we talked about the first time that we interviewed you guys, was just that you're real people. Like that's something that people tend to forget about in a situation like this, is that everybody involved is human. Like they're real lives, real like stories. That was one of the things that I think we accomplished in those first couple of streams, was that we humanized the Rittenhouse family to the average person, so that they weren't just like figures seen on a TV screen. So go ahead.
It's weird when you see your picture on any like the news, or you see yourself talking in an interview. When I used to do my interviews all the time when Kyle couldn't, I was his voice. I only watched it one time, and once was like, okay, I watched it and I'm like looking, I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, ugh. But after a while, getting used to talking to people, because especially because the media would just like twist words around or just cut half on there, and that is like, oh, it's like you, I'm like, no, what is, you should have a better, you should have what I say, but you're like this, but you put something else. I'm like, oh, this what I said was wonderful, and you said something different. It's just like, you know, that's how social
Yeah.
the news to get it. But the thing is, with President Trump, I can say I made him laugh. I made a president of the United States laugh when we went and saw
That's
him.
pretty good.
Yeah, as like 3 or 4 times. When President Trump goes like his Kyle's talking, he goes, "He's a good-looking boy." I go, "He gets it from me." He starts laughing. Then he said something and else. He's like, "Okay, it was nice meeting you." I said, "I would give you a hug, but I'm afraid the Secret Service will tackle me." And he started so hard. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I made Trump laugh. I was like, hell yeah, who can say that? It was me. Because I
Yeah, I
do.
mean, meeting the president must have been pretty amazing. That, but you probably didn't sleep for a week.
You
No, it
know,
doesn't matter who's the president, right? But it's the president of the United States, and to meet
that
that person is really that had to have been really amazing.
it was. I mean, I was getting ready and stuff. I had my shoes because we flew from Wisconsin down to Florida to do the Tucker interview. Then we went to like the next day we went to see Trump. I put on heels. Anybody who knows me, I don't wear heels. It's boots or my tennis shoes, flip flop,
Boots, like
boots.
GI combat boots,
I love boots. Okay, I'm wearing heels.
chicken
I'm
boots.
trying to walk in my heels. I'm scruffing the floor. I had Kyle, Dave Hancock was there at the time too. He looked. They're both looking at me. You need to start walking right, man. You're scuffing the floor. I said, you walk in 2-inch heels or 3-inch heels and see how you like it. And I'm walking and I almost fell over like 3 or 4 times. I'm grabbing Kyle, I'm grabbing Dave, trying to hold up and everything. And they're like, get off of me. And I'm like, I am going to fall and break my neck in his house. And I'm like walking upstairs. I'm holding on the railing and I think Dave was behind me. He's like, "Can you move a little faster?" I turned around. I said, "You want to wear these heels? I'll wear your shoes." He's like, "We get there." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, and we got to see Trump and everything. Once we left, I took off my shoes, man. I'm like, I can walk now. And he goes, and I was joking with Kyle. Wow, when he went to see the like this movie, I said, "Is my scruff mark still in Trump's house?" And he goes, "I think they're still there." He was joking around with me, but meeting him, what I'm like, you never think that you'll never sit down with any president and stuff. He he was a humble president. We were very honored with him and talk to him for that few minutes. Like that 15, 20 minutes with him. Me and Kyle were very honored and stuff like that. He gave us like this plate. The only 10 people, he said this is the 11th plate that there's only 12 that's made. And I got the 11th plate. Me and the girls got necklaces, we got shirts and hats and stuff like that. We were very honored to meet him. And
Yeah, that must have been pretty incredible. I
it
mean,
was
yeah, I've never gotten in that close to a president or anybody, to be honest with you.
definitely,
Um,
he is a tall drink of water. He stood like 6'3" or something. And he just talked to us like regular human beings. He talked about his family and stuff. His youngest son, Baron, that he's like
he was
six
like
five.
7'8".
Yeah, thing. The thing I wanted the most to see that day was Melania. I wanted to meet her so bad.
Yeah, so do
Like,
I. Yeah, I wouldn't mind meeting Melania. You bet.
uh-huh. You know, but meeting Trump and seeing all the pictures on his walls, there was history behind those pictures and stuff like that. And people don't realize it. Any president that's past or present, when they have their office, they have history in there. And I was so amazed by the history in his office. It was a great honor to meet him and sit there and talk to him and just talking to him like him talking to us like a regular human being. and people like, oh, I hate Trump, he's this and that. But no, Trump was a very humble person, and he was very respectful towards me and Kyle.
Hey, you can hook me up with Melania, right? You're on the in crowd now.
But I only met him once and everything.
Oh shoot!
I
There goes that idea.
All right.
Hey, Neil, yeah, we're
I,
gonna have to get
I'm
going. Neil,
starting
how
to
about
fade,
some
guys.
Yeah.
second introductions of yourself and call
Sure.
for subscribers and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. I have been on hiatus for a little while. I did just put out that video that we showed earlier. I'll be making some more content here. I actually particularly realized that I feel bad for my Patreon subscribers who were nice enough to stay with me through this whole thing. And I went, oh, crap, I should probably make some content for them. So if you happen to be one of my Patreon subscribers, please reach out to me and ask me, like, just, literally you can request like what you would like me to make video content about specifically. I've been focused on some stuff regarding my family lately, in addition to the fact that I needed to take a break from making content. Largely because of the fact that there's so many hacks out there that have enormous subscriber counts who probably don't spend a tenth as long as I do on researching their stuff. But if you're new to the channel, please check out my content. Going back for a long time, I am a left-leaning guy, but I very rarely ever discuss right versus left politics. I think we have bigger problems in this country. I think we have problems of truth versus not. And a huge amount of tribalism and division that is causing an enormous amount of problems. Which is why, like, I've got some viewers today from the WYSIWYG channel. Wizzy and I don't agree on everything politically, but I consider him a good friend. And that used to be how things used to be. You used to be able to be friends with people you didn't agree with about everything. Just like, I'm sure me and Johnny don't agree about everything either, but it doesn't change the fact that I consider him a friend. And but it's been quite an experience. Glad that this fundraiser is doing better. I hope that, because they're almost halfway there, I hope that they can get to their goal before this is over. I just wish my audience is a little bigger to be able to help them. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you do. And if you haven't subscribed to Johnny Walker Dread, please make sure that you do.
Yeah. I want to say thank you for everybody who donated so far to Fate's GoFundMe. And it means a lot to us. Bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Johnny and Neil, thank you for donating stuff. And thank you for having me on, which I came late to because I was at work. They changed I don't look at my schedule. I just look at my time clock to see my hours, not the day. I just take a glance of what days I work, and it was supposed to be at 5. And then they changed it to 5:30, 9:30. I'm like, nice. I'm like, I don't even look at that.
And we want to thank you, Wendy, for coming in because you kept her going, man. I'm telling you. You're a live wire and you kept the conversation rolling, and the people out there, I can tell, appreciated that.
I'm just a regular person, I mean, I have once you get to know me, my sense of humor comes out. I make people laugh. I can if you say something, I can make a joke out of it, I can I love making people laugh. It's like, if I get like one person laugh, I did my job.
Good
And
stuff.
speaking of making people laugh, you ought to go to my channel, the Johnny Walker Dread Show. A lot of my stuff is based on humor. I have a lot of fun with it. And if you hate Rashad Ritchie, I am absolutely tearing that dude a new asshole.
I don't know.
What's our? Go ahead.
I don't know who he is.
The Young Turks version of Joy Reid, just like a huge grifter, race baiter, just like everything.
That's how much I on social media or the TV. I watch the weather to see how hot it is here. If it's going to rain, that's it. I don't watch anything else.
Wait, you don't subscribe to my channel, Wendy? What's going on here?
Like I said, I mean, my old Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. My old Twitter account. I forgot about that, and I had new ones with different names on it, and seen all the bullshit lies, I just deactivated it and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm just done with it, you know.
Okay, you're going to have to subscribe to my channel. And by the way, I've been at it for over 3 years. I have 1,000 subscribers and almost 1,000 videos. So I'm kind of struggling out there. And in fact, I want to thank Neil for hosting this, because this was originally Faith came to me. I set up the stream, and then I'm thinking, you know what? The last stream I did only had like 5 or 10 people. And I thought, so I went to Neil and I said, "Hey Neil, can you host this for us? Because you have a lot more people that follow you." And he graciously hosted this show tonight. And I want to thank him so much, because you guys, Neil, you raised a lot more money than I would have.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Faith?
My old account was Kyle's mom and everything like that, and I just changed the name, and Faith went on it, and she put my regular name. And anything with me, you know, I'm a cat lady. Now I'm a dog mom. And I love animals, you know. I love my fur animals, my fur babies and stuff like that. If I find a banded animal, I'm like, "Oh, come home with me. You're mine." That's me, you know. And I saw the picture. I said, "Oh my God, Faith, change that picture. That's ugly."
By the way, they have a question. Hey V, will you drop the link for Johnny Walker Dread's channel? If you go to YouTube and just type in Johnny Walker Dread, you'll see it there. I mean, I'm not that low on the subscriber count. You can find me, but yeah, I have about 1,000 videos, over 400 on the Kyle Rittenhouse Kenosha shootings.
Well, and
I will
it's
say
harder
this,
to find me. Go ahead, finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
I am the most prolific YouTuber on the Kenosha shootings. You know, I may not have the most subscribers, but in terms of number of videos, I'm the man. All right. And so if you want to know anything about Kyle, the Kenosha shootings, Dominic Black, the Rittenhouses, whatever, my channel has almost certainly a video on it, including legal analysis and all that kind of stuff. So go to my channel, subscribe. I'd really greatly appreciate it. And I'm really trying to get my subscriber account up. I mean, after 3 years, I should have more than 1,000. Don't you think, Neil?
Well, people like us are not popular. Like before I took my hiatus, I had about 6,200. It's very clear that YouTube has a crazy bias, like because Good Logic is one of the few law tubers that I actually like. He brought me on because he didn't like that my subscriber count was so low. I got about 1,000 subscribers once during one of his streams. And we get to the end of the stream, we're literally looking at my subscriber count, you know, and I'm watching it live in real time because there's a way to put up like a live version of it. And literally 800 of those subscribers disappeared, like right there as we were watching it. And he was like, "What the hell just happened?" It was like, "Oh, it's the way it always is for me, man." So, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I realized I needed to take a break for a little while just to like, you know, get my passion back for it because, you know, and they do it on purpose. It's kind of blackpilling, so to speak, to be in a situation where there are people that are just total hacks who have enormous amounts of subscribers who don't do any work at all for their stuff. But regardless, so I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and thank everybody for donating. Make sure, you know, if you're new to the channel, check out my archives so that you can watch all the other content I have, and obviously subscribe to Johnny's channel. And I'm sorry, Wendy, did you have something else?
I just said thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart.
All right, awesome. It was great to see you guys again. And I will talk to you later. You guys can also check me out on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. A lot of my shows are in podcast format, stuff like that. You can find all of that at my hy.page/vradio. All right.
Take care, everybody. Appreciate everything that you did for us tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Later, Gators.